Hey everyone, this is DLF. I want to welcome everyone in. We talked about this before we started the show, and you talked a little bit about potentially not wanting, skipping the show. But as everyone knows, there was that shooting in Texas today, and I know that I've seen it all over Twitter and everywhere, and I know people are feeling however you want to feel, and it's just the kind of thing where I feel like however you want to feel is totally appropriate. And I wanted to go ahead and just let everyone know that we are here to support you, me, Cal, and Addison. If you need anything, any kind of support, whether it's about fantasy football or not, anything you want, you need to be heard or anything like that. That's what we want to do as a trio. And I just hope that people are doing okay if you're here watching this. I hope you're okay. I hope you're feeling okay. And I wanted to start the show with that, and just wish everyone the best. I know it's been a tough time over the last couple of years with pandemic and a lot of other things. It's been kind of rough. And I just appreciate everyone who comes together as a community in this community. When things are tough, I find that the fantasy football community comes together. I've been going through some things. It's been hard in some ways, and nothing to do with that, but just generally. And I find that the fantasy football community is there, and it's a great place. And I thought that we should do the show because I know that a lot of people value this as a distraction from some of the things in the world that are hard, and we just get to talk about football. We get to try to have fun, and I think that's very important because we only get to live once, and you want to spend a lot of that time doing things that you enjoy. So with that said, I don't know if either of you guys had anything you wanted to say about that, but I just we're all here together. It's mostly what I wanted to say.
What is up, and welcome to Ask DLF. I'm Cal. He's Tyler, and we've been having a third joining us here into our trio. You know him, you love him. His name is Addison. He's Adam Hayes _. And what we do here is we answer questions. It's called Ask DLF. So ask your questions. Use the box. We haven't had a week until last week that we didn't get through all of the questions. We were going to try not to let that happen again. If it doesn't, we get behind. You can always use the super chat feature. If you think likes make Addison happy, the super chat makes him really happy. So go ahead and make sure.
The subscribe, though, that one. And that one makes Addison very happy. We know that one. And comment. Addison.
That's right.
Addison is the DLF account. In case, I assume most people know that, but if you don't, the DLF account is Addison. So if you comment, then Addison gets to respond. Mm-hmm. So that makes him very happy.
It's fun. It is fun when I see the little notifications up there.
And fiery on there. I know what it's like having a YouTube channel, seeing those notifications on my end. So every time I get that comment notification, I'm like, ooh, someone commented? Like they cared enough to leave a comment? I'm like, I like it. And comments help the algorithm more than anything else, actually. I don't know if people know that.
So what we're going to do is, as you're going to see here in just a second, as you know, we're going to answer a bunch of questions just like Patrick. So let's jump into it. Patrick has one. He says Godwin plus Henderson or ETN plus Robinson, James Robinson. Interesting, the Jacksonville backfield. Lots to figure out. Lots of question marks there, but Godwin has his own, and Henderson stuck in the backfield by himself. What do you think, Tyler?
Oh, okay. I think this deal is on the fairer side. I would probably lean the Godwin direction just because we know that Chris Godwin is good. We've never really seen Travis Etienne do anything in the NFL. He hasn't accomplished anything yet. So yeah, I mean, I would go the Godwin way, but he has his injury, so I can understand why someone would go the other way. The deal is fair. I'd rather have Robinson over Henderson, but not by that much. So yeah, I'll go with the Godwin side, but it's very reasonable.
What do you think, Addison?
I think I'm taking the Godwin and Henderson side as well too. I've been coming around to buying ETN a lot more.
Me too.
We just added a new, I guess, a video analyst, Justin Wright, who's been doing a plethora of videos over the past little bit a week or so as I took a little bit of a vacation and a break. So he did one on Travis Etienne, and as I was editing the video, I was like, this is a fantastic argument that I'm really coming around on. So I do really like Etienne, but I would take Godwin straight up over ETN. And I do agree with you, Tyler, that I would take James Robinson over Henderson, but I think
it's not as much.
Yeah. Like the upside of the Godwin Henderson side, I think is better than having two running backs in the same backfield. Because if Cam Akers were to go down, you have a starter in Henderson as well, which is the same as ETN and James Robinson, but you can't play them both probably at the same time, but you can play Godwin and Henderson both at the same time if certain things go right.
I think you guys have both expressed that Garrett Wilson, you like him over Chris Olave in the past, but is that still
Correct.
the case?
Yes. What would have changed? Like what that the Saints signed Jarvis Landry, that would have made it more that I like Garrett Wilson over Olave, right? So like what? Nothing's changed. Garrett, I mean, I've always said that Chris Olave is 75% of Garrett Wilson. They're very similar, but Wilson is better in every way. So I don't see why anyone would prefer Olave over Wilson. Wilson was clearly better when the two played together. Olave did not declare early, and we don't like that. So Wilson was earlier in the draft, even was one pick earlier. It was still earlier. So I don't see the argument for Olave over Wilson, really. I think it's a cute argument that I hear people try to like make up, but I've never heard anything that's even remotely convincing.
Okay, let me make one up then. All right.
Make it up.
Jameis Winston, man, last time he was a full-time starter. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin. There's a lot of like
that's the made up one that I usually
footballs
hear.
Flying around, lots of fantasy points. That's
that one.
Like,
that's the made up one I usually
Michael
hear.
Thomas is hurt. Like he's never played football ever again. He's probably broken.
Yeah, sure. He made Mike Evans and Chris Godwin fantasy viable. I really think
Chris Godwin less. Like points count less in New York with the Jets for some reason.
That's true.
Like it doesn't. Yeah.
But Chris Godwin is a better player. If these two hit their ceiling, maybe they could be 80% of what Chris Godwin was in 2019, 2020. You know, that Chris Godwin. Maybe they could be 80% of that. That would be a miracle. I don't see Garrett Wilson ever being that. And Chris Olave, forget it. No chance. I don't see Chris Olave as a high ceiling player at all. I don't see any ceiling. So I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, Godwin was a wide receiver 2 in a season. These players, no shot. People forget that just because Godwin was injured, he suffered a late injury this year. People do not remember how good Chris Godwin is. They don't remember 2019, how good he was.
I do agree with that.
They don't remember. Yeah. They've forgotten that he was elite.
You seem like you have something you're choking on right here, Addison. You have something you want to say. Come on, pull it
about
out.
Chris Godwin?
No.
I don't know what it is.
No, it's just Wilson and Olave. I would put the percentage as in the 80s in terms of Olave is like 80-85% of Garrett Wilson. Like when I was doing my analytics on them, like Olave actually came out ahead of Garrett Wilson. But that was because Wilson missed like 2 benchmarks by like a rounding thing on his speed score, and like 1 inch of height or something like that was like the difference. They're both the same size. They ran like the same 40-yard dash. Olave is a 4-year player, but produced in 3 years, and Wilson is a 3-year player, produced in 2 out of them. So they're very, very similar, and they both, like Tyler said, they were drafted like back to back. So there's
11, yeah,
there's literally like no difference between the two outside of the fact that we believe that Garrett Wilson is more of a prototypical wide receiver 1 a la Calvin Ridley, whereas Chris Olave is more of a vertical wide receiver 2 like Deshaun Jackson, who maybe if he gets utilized in a certain way could be, Washington Deshaun Jackson versus Philadelphia Deshaun Jackson. Both of them kind of have their pros and cons. But that's like ultimate upside for Chris Olave. I'm still taking Garrett Wilson over him for sure. But I like both of them.
That's Addison. He gets happy when you hit the like button. And Henry is a legend, and he tells you that you should smash the like button. Why would you not at this point? Why would you not hit that like button if you're watching this? Make sure that you do that. He comes back with a question. Which side in a 14-team PPR tight end 1.5, so tight end premium here, do you want picks 1, 9, and 15 or Jamar Chase? I think this is easy.
Chase.
Easily Chase.
This is easy. Chase, I would just generally, if the trade involves Chase, I would like that side. Usually, that's the one that I want. I want him. Drop passes in the preseason aside. I would want Chase.
Yep, easily. Okay, with players picked in these spots. So Breece Hall, Sky Moore, Rashad White, or Spiller. So like he's kind of putting names to it.
Yeah,
but
my mind is unchanged.
Yeah, I almost did that too. I was gonna say if you look at the DLF ADP, because he doesn't say it's super flex here. So Breece Hall, and then Christian Watson somewhere in that area.
It doesn't matter. It's Jamar Chase either way.
David Bell, 15.
I was gonna say super flex doesn't matter either because
none of it really matters.
At least you can pick it in there. At least you can pick it in there to drop somebody.
One player. That's so great. I think it's easily Jamar Chase either way. I think the people know. The people know the answer to this question.
He asked us about it last week. Let's see. So I picked between Burks, Williams. Sounds like for 18 hours and picked Williams over Burks. Ooh, interesting.
I think he'll regret that one.
Yeah, me too.
I actually think you may have picked Rager.
Yeah, he says he doesn't want it to be Rager over Jefferson again.
No, I don't want to say that. I like Jameson Williams a lot. I really do.
Yeah, I think that would be like, it's probably not as bad, but like Ruggs over like T. Higgins.
No, you know what it actually feels like? You know what it actually feels like it could be? Now that I think about it, this could be if you picked Jerry Jeudy over CeeDee Lamb. That's kind of what it feels like.
All right, I'm with it.
For some reason, the only one I could think of was Toney over Amon-Ra St. Brown, and those are better examples.
Tony has been, I have a lot of things. Here we go.
Transition.
We have
It's almost like I knew it was coming.
Just traded Toney 24, 3, 4, and 5 for a 23 second.
So it's fine. Whatever. These picks in 2024 are a long time from now. But the problem is that Toney has now started off on a new failure area. So first, he didn't show up to the training camp before his rookie year. So not good, not at the training camp. Then he didn't participate in those practices. Then in the rookie year, 3 good games. There were 3 good games, but what about the other ones? He didn't get on the field early on. And then he missed a lot of time due to injuries. And now this offseason, he didn't want to participate in some of the practices. He didn't want to get his playbook. And now there's a new knee scope. What is this? I didn't hear about a knee scope until this week. Now there's a knee scope? That doesn't sound so good. So this all sounds very bad. So I don't want any part of Kadarius Toney. He is a hard avoid, hands-off player for me. I think we're seeing a transition to out of the NFL very soon. No, thank you. He, screams bust to me. So I'll take this offer, even though this offer is not offering me very much.
That is a Giants fan very upset that this team spent a first-round pick on Kadarius Toney. I just
it isn't.
I want him to. No, I know.
If the Giants had any good players, I would like them. The problem is that they've failed to do so. They've failed to acquire any good players. So I don't have anyone there that I like.
I want him to stay healthy. He's such a unique player, very different, to me.
To be fair, I'm higher than consensus on Wan'Dale Robinson, probably because I'm lower than consensus on Kadarius. Like, I have Wan'Dale Robinson ranked higher in Dynasty than Kadarius Toney because Wan'Dale Robinson hasn't been now a 5-time failure. So, he doesn't have any failure yet. So I'd rather have him.
was gonna say they drafted a significantly better player a whole round later than they did Kadarius Toney. They could cut him and get the same thing.
Kadarius Toney was a terrible prospect. Terrible.
Just take one Gale Elijah Moore Robinson. You're good to go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Alex chimes in here. Have 108. Rank Olave, Sky, and Cook for me.
In that order.
That order.
This is his team. Doesn't matter. We're going to draft
the
for
team
value
doesn't
anyway.
matter. Yeah, but that order.
So, yes.
It's not close between any of the players. They're far apart from each other.
I was going to say the difference between Olave and Sky Moore and Cook is probably farther than the difference they are like typed out right there. You need a couple more ands, and then you'll hit the difference.
Yeah, I mean, in a startup, I have about a round of value. Oh, yeah. I mean, Cook to me is pretty far back, but honestly, like, I think Cook is a weird one. Like, I think I'm more in the middle because people are either all in or all out, and I feel like I'm neither. But I'm pretty much with the rankings on Olave and Moore.
I'm all out. I take Pickens over him. I take Dotson over him.
Yeah, I have him higher than
Christian
that.
Watson over him.
I'm out in the first round,
I do
especially
have,
at 108.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
Watson and Dotson over him, but not Pickens.
Let's see. Olave, Sky, Cook in that order. So Ed agrees, the Buffalo fan. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
I mean, that's what the ADP. That's what the ADP says.
Mm-hmm.
STP, AJ Brown, and a 24 first for Allen Robinson, a 23 first, and a second. Which
This trade makes no sense. I mean, it's the AJ Brown side, but I don't. AJ Brown's worth more than that without a 24 first.
I was literally gonna say I would do this
I
deal
don't-
without the 24 first.
I don't. It's AJ Brown side easily. Yeah. Next question.
It sounds like he's trying to make an offer, trying to come up with an offer, and I think you're gonna have to do better than
let's
this.
try to focus on this one then.
Yeah. Also, what is Allen Robinson's standalone value? Trade
I
value.
think this is a good question.
And it would- Yeah, we better trade him now or in season.
No, it's not better to wait because with Allen Robinson, he was bad last year. He was bad and he's 29. So one more bad game and 1, 2, 3 bad games. That's it. Allen Robinson is going to be valued similarly to who's a good example? Jarvis Landry, an ancient player who nobody cares about anymore. So he's like 3 bad games away from that. So you don't want to wait on Allen Robinson. There's no guarantee that those good games come. So I would eliminate Allen Robinson now. Now, if you're going to do that, I think that the time where you can get a first-round pick for Allen Robinson is behind us.
Unless you're
maybe not
Kyle
this
Yates.
year.
I didn't want to say it, but you did. So, we'll move on from that one.
Dang it.
You have no idea how much I've been nominated as a potential guest on his show, and I have not heard anything yet. But I will go on if I'm invited. I will go on if I'm invited. I will say that. I will make the promise to the people. If I am invited on that show, I will go on, and it'll be fun.
Good opportunity to plug some of the tools here at DLF, actually, because the Trade Finder is kind of my go-to on a lot of these things. And so
Trade Finder is great.
Yeah, if you're looking at, hey, what's his standalone value, you can go pull up real trades that have involved Allen Robinson and see what people have been getting.
Addison saw some of my trades in the Trade Finder.
He went for here recently in a 14-team league, Allen Robinson for 209, 402, and a 23 second.
Oof, no.
Well, the 23 second was in there. That's not bad. You're not going to get more than that.
Allen Robinson for 110 in this.
There you go.
This year.
110.
Money.
Yeah. That's it.
I think that's what you should try for those late first, something like that.
Yeah. Also, you might try packaging Allen Robinson with a second to get a 23 first. You probably can't. That move doesn't work anymore. But
you might be able to do that for a 24 first.
Well, I say, but Addison, I say that the move doesn't work anymore. But that assumes that everyone in every league just does what I do. If it's 12 me's, then it doesn't work. But not everybody is me. I mean, I get told all the time that like I'm an idiot and I overvalue youth and all of that. So there's still people who are doing it wrong and not listening to me. So there might be someone in your league who does it that way.
Tony or Tanya 187, let's go. Excited for today's video.
Wait, go back to that one. I will say that I appreciate the guts to ask me to nominate you as my favorite listener. He asked on Twitter. But Adam has that on lock, so I'm sorry.
Fan
Adam's
football.
been there for me since day one.
20. I always love his Adam's comments are always like for the algorithm.
Yeah, my first ever patron, actually. First ever patron. He's been supporting my work for over 2 years. So yeah, he's got that title on lock.
12-team Superflex, 6-point passing touchdown, I assume. -4 for interceptions. Start 10 PPR. Burrow, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 207, 211 for Stafford, Swift, and a 23 first.
Easy.
It's got to be the Stafford Swift side, right? I mean,
I don't know the argument for the other side.
I don't see the argument for the other side either. Like,
I can tell you the argument is that people massively overvalue Joe Burrow because of the playoffs.
I'm with you. I'm with you. You know, I'm with you. I put it in the article. It was in one of the Ask DLF weekly rundowns. It's hard to find it, but if you search Joe Burrow, you might find it on DLF. But yeah, Burrow is a little bit over. He's not massively overvalued. I mean, I still have him, 6th overall in Superflex. So it's not like I don't like him. But I do think that some people put him in the top tier, whereas I kind of have him in like a little bit of a half step down. Either way, even if you put him, if Joe Burrow were named Patrick Mahomes, I'm still not doing this. It's still too much. It's still too expensive. I'm not paying that for Patrick Mahomes either. It's still too expensive. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to pay this.
It does feel way too much.
I mean, Stafford is a late second round startup pick. Swift is somewhere in the second in Superflex, and 23 first is like gold. 207, 211, and Clyde are like, who knows how many rounds? 10th, 11th round. I mean, it's so easily the Stafford side.
People love to hear you talk about Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Tyler, let's talk more about him. 108 and Clyde Edwards-Helaire for 201 and Josh Jacobs.
Man. Let me think about that. So at 108, I will get, I guess, Olave if it's Superflex, probably, maybe Pickett.
I don't love the 201, but I'd take Josh. The 201 in both formats is the drop off. I would take the pick in the drop off.
Yeah.
I'd probably lean the 201 side with Jacobs, just barely. If it's one QB, it's easier to take that side because then I don't get a top tier player at 108. Because like if 108 is Sky Moore, then it's easier. Then it's easier for me to take the Jacob side. But if it's Chris Olave, then I'm more into the other side.
Yeah, Patrick breaks it down here. Eric, Cal, you know what time it is. Okay, so my biggest takeaway, obviously, after the events of today is just like hug them. So Eric always asks me, this is a question about first time dad advice, basically. He's having a kid. And just look, hug them, love them. Like after a day like today, it's just like,
and that goes for everybody. Everybody in your life, not just kids, but your relationships or whatever, even your friends or just people that you care about. Like it might be a good day to tell them that you care,
but
you never know when it's the last time.
I thought about this one a little bit, and I'm gonna go. There's so many layers to this, Eric. I love this. So your world is gonna revolve around this little like 9-pound, 8-pound baby for like a little while, right? Don't forget to date your wife, your spouse, your partner who's having this baby. Like, don't forget to make sure that like they feel important too, that you're taking care of them, that you are doing things that the same things that got you to where you are now. Make sure that you are not neglecting those things just because there's something that's going to loudly scream and cry or smell or whatever when it needs your attention. Like, make sure that you don't just ignore the other important people in your life too.
We'll have to revisit this if and when Addison has his first kid.
Give me a little bit. That's all right.
Let's see. Yeah, let's go down here. Game time. Hope everybody's doing well. I think that's the name of the town.
It is
107 or Hollywood Brown and 204.
Hollywood.
Yeah.
Picks on the wrong side.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
It is. I mean, the
so
drop off for
excited.
me, the drop off for me is at 106. I mean, I would rather have Jameson Williams than Hollywood Brown, but at 107, then it's Olave, and I'd rather have Brown easily over Olave.
Ooh.
Olave has no ceiling at all. None. I don't see it. There's just something, I just don't get it. There's something about him I'm not getting because I don't see anything. I see boring. I see boring, and I don't want boring. Hollywood Brown, I think the ceiling, if he hits his ceiling in this, remember the Cardinals traded away a first round pick to acquire him. I mean, his ceiling in the Kyler Murray offense is, we know he's good too. I mean, he did all, his numbers with Lamar. So, I mean, I think Hollywood Brown's ceiling is a mid wide receiver 1.
Oh yeah, I agree with that.
Whereas Olave's ceiling is not that. I don't think Olave will ever be a wide receiver 1.
I was honestly contemplating if I would have Hollywood as my wide receiver 3 in this class behind only Drake London and Treylon Burks. I was contemplating him versus Wilson.
I would take him over Williams.
I think Wilson is Wilson is more of a complete player than Hollywood Brown. That's the difference to me.
Right, but there's some growing pains you're probably going to have in that offense with Zach Wilson.
But there's also it's also long term. I mean, I could see Garrett Wilson being, I don't know if he's going to be a top 5 guy, but I could see him being a low end wide receiver 1 for years. So a player that you really trust. Whereas Hollywood Brown is, the ceiling's there, but he disappears at times. So
I think Hollywood too, the community's never going to value him like that. Even if
I value him very highly at this point.
Right, but I mean the community is never going to look at Hollywood Brown, even if he were to put up a top 10 season and be like, man, we need to value this guy as a top 10 wide receiver.
I think they might.
It's
because
true.
he's only 25. He turns 25 this summer. He's in Arizona. So let's say that he finishes a wide receiver 8 and they extend him to they re-sign Kyler Murray and they extend Hollywood Brown to a $70 million contract. And they decide we don't need DeAndre Hopkins anymore. He's getting too old. So they either cut him or trade him away. What about if that scenario played out? You don't think that Hollywood Brown could be a dynasty wide receiver 1? He'd be turning 26 going into the 2023 season. I think he absolutely could be. Absolutely.
I think it's just rough because we have a lot of other wide receivers that are also and in better situations.
I know we do, but you never know. People value what happened most recently the most. And if most recently he was a wide receiver 1 and then he gets a huge contract extension, I think people could be in on him. And they could get tired of someone like DJ Moore, who just never quite, who's the same age, by the way, who just never quite puts it all together.
But I think when somebody comes in and disappoints this community, it holds a grudge for a while. And I think it can be hard for someone to overcome that. And I think Hollywood is absolutely in that. And to me, his production is going to always be like Amon-Ra. What would Amon-Ra St. Brown have to do? He doesn't even have the draft capital, obviously, of Brown to actually where the community talks about him like he is a top tier wide receiver. I don't know, right? I don't think Marquise Brown will ever be talked about in that way either.
Probably not.
Interesting question here from Silence of the Lamb. Thoughts on Kellen Mond? Then he kind of goes into this, which makes a compelling case, in my opinion, compared to the 2022 class of QBs.
No,
better draft capital than Willis or Corral. He's younger than both. Where would he rank? If he came out this season, where would he rank?
Well, unfortunately, I think that since we see him in practice every day, I don't think we need to see him on the field. I think practice was good. We don't need to see him on the field. I've seen him every day in practice. I think that was good enough for me. No, he is so bad. I don't want any part of him. I don't think he's even worth your time in a super flex league. Even I would go in a different direction if I'm looking for a bench stash. Kellen Mond is just irrelevant to me.
I don't want him.
I mean, he sucks. So I don't know why
you don't want Matt Corral and you don't want.
Oh, I don't know Matt Corral. Matt Corral was actually a good prospect.
Oh,
Kellen Mond was an abysmal, embarrassing prospect. I don't understand why Kellen Mond was drafted in the 3rd round. I don't know why.
Yep.
I disagree with that.
De'Aaron King went undrafted, and they're like the same player.
For me, if I were doing it, Kellen Mond would have been a day 3 pick, and Matt Corral would have gone at the end of round 1 or the start of round 2. If it were up to me.
Yeah, if it were up to me, Sam Howell would have been the Steelers quarterback in round 1. But whatever, I'll never live it down.
Yeah,
well, I think your question is not the worst ever, unlike these guys. Sounds of the Lamb. So remember that. Trevin Bulger, would you trade Amon-Ra for Aaron Jones?
Oh, no, because I think that Aaron Jones is not going to help you, because I think that Aaron Jones, by the time you get to the fantasy playoffs, you're not going to be able to start Aaron Jones. AJ Dillon, I think, is going to be the Packers starter. He led the team in rushing attempts last year, and I think this year, by the time you get to the fantasy point games that matter, the playoffs, AJ Dillon is going to be ranked weekly ahead of Aaron Jones. I don't think that Aaron Jones is washed. He didn't look washed at all. I just think that he didn't look quite as good as he did in the previous years. 2020 was his best year, I believe. But yeah, I just have no interest in Aaron Jones at all. And for redraft, I rank Aaron Jones as running back 17. So I'm way out compared to consensus. Consensus, I think, has him at 11. So I have him at 17.
He's going
good.
I was just going to say the ADP's got him at RB 20, 48th. So he's going a couple rounds ahead of Amon-Ra right now in the DLF ADP.
Yeah, in Dynasty, I have him at 24. So I'm just not interested.
I would invite you, if you haven't seen it yet. I made this video. It might have been the end of December, maybe the beginning of January. It's titled the biggest Dynasty mistake I've ever made. Essentially what it is it's breaking down win now trades and the reason why you shouldn't be making them, especially when they're 1-for-1 moves like this. Because at the end of the day, neither one of these players individually are impacting your season the way that you actually think that they are. I mean, unless, of course, like if Aaron Jones were to finish as like the RB1, then that's probably
he's not going to.
Conversation. Right. So
you couldn't even start him last year. Once AJ Dillon got into the game, you really couldn't trust Aaron Jones.
Right. Like I've done this for 2 years in a row now. 2 years in a row, I made moves like this thinking that I was getting the better asset. And I actually tracked, did that player help me versus if I had started the other player that I did trade away, then like, did that influence my outcome of my weekly matchups at all? And the answer is no, it didn't change like any outcome. And I did that with Derrick Henry last year. Like, like had I played just the random replacement player on my bench instead of Derrick Henry versus Darrell Henderson, who I had traded him for, I literally would have won a total of 0 like different games.
Here's my recommendation. What you never want to do, never, is go for the win now assets that are in the middle. Never. Never. Players like Aaron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, they're dead to me. They exist, but I'll never have them because they're too expensive for me to ever buy. But they're not good enough to win a title on their own. Not like Christian McCaffrey, someone who's actually good enough to win you a fantasy title on his own and is aging out.
It might not be that much more expensive, depending on who.
Well, he'll be a lot more expensive, but I mean, he's 6th overall in ADP this month. So 6th still now after 2 years of nothing, 6th overall. So he'll still be expensive. But if you're going to buy someone, last year, you could have bought Darrell Williams when Clyde went down. If you'd seen one game, you could have bought Darrell Williams for a 3rd round pick and you would have had 6 RB1 games or so from Darrell Williams for nothing. For nothing at all.
Okay, so
wait until the injury happens in season. Buy the guy who has production value and no dynasty value, and don't screw your team by doing this kind of thing. These are the deals. Like Addison said, I'm totally in agreement for the same reasons that I never make.
Would it be better to try and trade him for, let's say, Elijah Mitchell? Excuse me, Elijah Mitchell.
Who are we trading Elijah Mitchell for?
Amon-Ra.
Well, I mean, I think those players are similar in value. I have Elijah Mitchell a couple of spots higher, actually right in line with the ADP, who has 1 spot higher. So yeah, I mean, I would consider Elijah Mitchell. I think Elijah Mitchell is very talented.
I would not do Elijah Mitchell. I wouldn't. And my problem is not Mitchell. My problem is how the Dynasty community feels about him and how we're just going to do the whole entire circus.
But the Dynasty community feels the same about Amon-Ra. They don't.
It's true.
They see fourth round draft capital. They don't like him either. So it's kind of like the Dynasty community is not going to like either of these guys. So
ETN.
Who do you think is? ETN.
Amon-Ra and like if you have like a late second this year or next year's second and go get ETN.
I just don't think you're going to be able to do that. Like.
Or move down, trade Amon-Ra for like Kareem Hunt plus.
What about AJ Dillon instead of Aaron Jones?
Well, I like that
Dillon
better
plus.
if you can get a better deal.
Dillon plus, yeah.
One thing I don't understand is the ADP has AJ Dillon 30 spots behind Aaron Jones, and that is just that's dumb. That's people not researching, not knowing how old Aaron Jones is. By the way, if you're doing content, Aaron Jones is 27 years old. I keep a running tally of every time someone says he's 25 because it's very often.
Like, I think he's 27 and a half. He turns 28 this season.
He turns 27. It's December. He has a December, I believe it's December 10th, 94 or something. You can look that up. December 94, I know it is. So he's already 27. But people just have this idea that he's younger for whatever reason. I don't know what that reason is, but for some reason, people can't get his age right.
First.
I feel like some questions are easy.
December 1st. Well, I got the month and the year. I'll take that.
105 and Juju for the 101.
Breece Hall.
Yeah, Breece Hall. And,
Easy.
the problem is that if you took Juju, it would cause an infestation on your team. It would cause an infestation of failure. Failure. That's right. It would cause an infestation of failure because Juju... Now I'm hearing that there are some people who think that Juju is going to bounce back to wide receiver 1 form this year. And I don't see how they possibly believe that if they've watched any Juju over the last 3 years. He looks like garbage, terrible, absolutely awful. And, he actually outperformed in fantasy how bad he actually looks. So bad. He looks so bad over the last 3 years. But he was fed targets incredibly inefficiently and performed very poorly on those targets, but he got them anyway. And I think that which showed in the free agency market the last 2 years that nobody wanted him. No one wanted him because he doesn't have it anymore. So I'll take Breece Hall.
Oops. The other Tyler Reeves, would you
a lot of Tylers
in the wide receiver core? If this was your wide receiver core, AJ Brown, Michael Pittman.
Was that AJ Brown or Hollywood Brown?
Oh,
it's probably AJ Brown. Yeah.
Ooh, that changes things a little bit.
That changes things, yeah. Because it's 3 mandatory starters. So if that's Hollywood Brown, this wide receiver core is just okay. If that's AJ Brown, then it's solid. Then it's very good.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, but it definitely depends.
Yeah, and probably depends on what the rest of your team looks like here too. Shane has the ultimate Russell Wilson trade. All right, we'll see. We'll be the deciders of that.
Addison, go first on this one.
Taking Russell Wilson and Devonta Smith or Zach Wilson, Garrett Wilson, and a 2023 first.
I'll take Wilson. Crap. Tyler made me go first. I was just gonna go off of whatever he said. I think I'm taking the Russell Wilson side because I believe what? I give up. Tyler, you go first.
Okay. I'll take the side with the 23 first because I kind of feel like Zach Wilson and a 23 first. Is Russell Wilson really worth that much more than that? Zach Wilson is probably worth the 23 first on his own, at least, if not considering what quarterbacks are worth, probably more. How much is Russell Wilson really worth? And then I'd much rather have Garrett Wilson over Devonta Smith. Is not a player I want at all. So I'll take the 2 Wilson side.
Yeah, I was trying to rationalize because I was like, well, I would rather have the 23 first than Devonta Smith. So for me, it was Zach Wilson and Garrett Wilson for Russell Wilson.
But that's not that far off, honestly, to me.
No, I don't. I agree with you too. It's just I don't know how I'd feel about Zach Wilson, honestly.
Not great. The risk is all that side's risky. Well, it's not that risky though because it comes with a 23 first, which is like gold mine. So It's risky in taking Zach Wilson, but it also gets a receiver I really like and a 23 first. So
I have the solution on the Zach Wilson side. you get a throw in Cedric Wilson, and then I will take the deal.
Oh my God. Come on, guys.
I've solved it. That is the answer.
Blake McDonald, our resident Australian, says, happy Waffle Wednesday. It's Wednesday over there where he is, not Taco Tuesday. Love you guys and the content you provide. Thank you. Appreciate that. Blake, we love the fact that you're listening and hanging out and giving us something to talk about. Just drafted Breece Hall. What are your 2022 projections for him? I don't know if one of you guys do official projections on this, but.
So I will say that I want to thank the 200 plus people who commented on my thread telling me about the content, that my content was good. I appreciate that. Yesterday was a very bad day for me. So thank you to everyone who gave me something like happy to think about. As for this, I don't do projections, but I can tell you where I have Breece Hall ranked for redraft, and we'll see how that helps you. I have Breece Hall at running back 13 for redraft.
I am excited about him this season. I mean, I don't think he's gonna, I don't think he's going to. I think if your expectations are in line with, well, let me ask you this: Najee Harris last year, is that way
I had
too
Najee Harris ranked. I had Najee Harris ranked top 10 last year, so
yeah,
I'm not sure I would expect that. But,
so somewhere between him and Javonte Williams.
Yeah, I would say so. I would say so. Although this year I do still have, for redraft, I have Javonte Williams at 10. Breece Hall at 13. So I have Javonte a few spots higher.
So I have some math for you, Cal and Tyler.
Oh, well, yeah. You look like you were.
Yeah. This is actually what I was working, because I saw this question a little bit earlier, like right before we started. So I started doing some math. From the Jets running backs last year, I took what Michael Carter did, Tevin Coleman, and Austin Walter. I took those three players, and I tallied up what all three of them did. The stat line would be 257 attempts for 1,100 yards and 5 touchdowns, 74 targets, 49 receptions, almost 400 receiving yards and no touchdowns. That equals out to 226 fantasy points, which last year would have been the RB12.
Wait,
then I gave
Addison. You sound like you're on 1.5x speed.
You have I can tell whatever you're saying is like super important, and I don't think anybody can tell what you're saying right now.
Yeah, I don't think you literally sound like you're sped up.
Did I say all that way too fast?
No,
no, it's something with your mic.
There's static mixed in there too, and all that.
But you also sound sped up, which is very odd. But yeah, I can talk a little bit more about Breece Hall while Addison gets that fixed. So
now?
To give you, now we sound fixed. All right, we're good.
I don't know. Okay, I don't know what happened there. Okay, so back to what I was saying. Where do I just want me to start over? Did you guys hear anything?
Probably. I don't think anyone heard any of that.
Yeah, all the way.
Okay.
Who is Breece Hall?
So I took the New York Jets running back stat lines from last year, and I basically took Michael Carter, Tevin Coleman, and Austin Walter. I combined their 3 stat lines from last year, and those 3 combined would have been 257 rush attempts, 1,100 yards, and 5 touchdowns, and then also added 74 targets, 49 receptions, 400 receiving yards, and 0 touchdowns. So that math added up to 227 fantasy points, which last year would have been equivalent to RB12. And then I gave Michael Carter Ty Johnson's exact stat line, which is 61 for 238 and 2, and then 55 targets for 34 receptions, 372 yards, and 2 receiving touchdowns, 107 fantasy points, which I thought was like really great because when I looked at it, is essentially what Nyheim Hines did last year. So that's essentially like if they were, both of those running backs were essentially all of their running back production from last year. That's kind of, I think, a pretty solid breakdown on the 2 of them. And that's also in a really bad 2021 Jets offense without Elijah Moore, rookie Zach Wilson, all that kind of extra stuff too.
Yeah.
So I thought
low
that was
in RB1. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's interesting. Like I did my redraft rankings, and certain players came in higher than I would have thought. Saquon Barkley specifically, and other players. Yeah, he's at 12. So that still means in redraft I would have no Saquon Barkley.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, but yeah, Breece Hall is right behind Saquon Barkley and right ahead of David Montgomery in my redraft rankings.
Here's another one. It says Alec Higgins and 308, 4, 110, 204, and 301. Who wins?
Higgins. I mean, this is
Higgins.
a joke.
By a mile,
this,
right?
This trade is a joke. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't give up good assets for, like, if you want to give up Allen Robinson for 110, fine.
Let's give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he's acquiring Higgins.
Hopefully.
Yes. Then acquire him.
Yeah.
Would you want DJ Moore or a 23 first and second?
Oh, man.
That's about right.
Yeah. If it's a 1 QB, I'll just give this up for Moore. I could end up kicking myself, but I'm probably not going to end up kicking myself that much unless it's Bijan. But if it's a super flex, honestly, like, even DJ Moore, like, I'm not sure I really want to. I'm really not. I'm not sure I want to that much.
I know for sure that I don't want this one from Peter. Dynasty trade, Jonathan Taylor and Damian Pierce for Zeke, Kamara, and Pittman. What?
Yeah, I know. This is terrible. Jonathan Taylor for sure, easily. Yeah.
Peter, don't do this.
This is a trade you make when you're all in on 2022 because you know you're leaving the league. And you just want to try for production.
I've heard about those. I've heard about those trades.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. Like, I don't know. I'm not sure I'd do this even if I want. Like, if I wanted to win in 2022, I still feel like I'd want Jonathan Taylor.
Maybe. Where do you? Okay, let's do a little quiz. Where do you think I have Ezekiel Elliott ranked in my redraft rankings?
So last year he scored 8 more points per game. Jonathan Taylor did than Zeke.
Put it in the chat. Where do you think I have Ezekiel Elliott ranked in my redraft rankings? I have Jonathan Taylor at 1 among running backs.
16.
21.
16. 21.
No, are you the high guy? You're the high guy on Zeke, aren't you?
No, it's actually lower than 21.
Oh, wow.
Tyler, 20. He's in the best shape of his life.
I don't care.
Shane said 31.
31? No, that's about where I think I have Pollard at around 31. No, I have Zeke at 23.
I was close.
Yeah, 23. He's just behind Elijah Mitchell and just ahead of James Conner.
Ahead of James Conner?
Oh, yes.
You don't have Conner projected to play more.
Oh, but you have to remember that I'm like remember what I said all of last year, that Darrell Williams is better than CEH. James Conner was at 14 today, and now he's at 24.
You dropped him down that far?
Yes. Oh, yes. This has changed everything to me. And maybe that's something to talk about. I mean, I did a video on it, but this changes everything because the ceiling is not there anymore. Because the universe in which James Conner gets everything is gone. I mean, before he was going to get everything. Keontae Ingram is nothing. And Eno Benjamin, like I've been saying for years, sucks. So Conner was going to get everything. Now he's not going to get everything. Now his ceiling is getting like 60%. So I have Conner all the way down to 24. I mean,
is there an argument that this is better for the longevity?
No, because James Conner is one misstep away from being out for the year. Like, he's made of glass. I don't care. James Conner is not someone I'm worried about wearing down. James Conner is already worn, so I don't care about the touch load. He could get injured at any time.
Is Darrell Williams going to take more touches away from him than Chase Edmonds did last year?
Yes.
It'll be the receiving volume. That's the issue, is that Conner went nuclear last year when Edmonds was out because he was getting like 6 receptions a game.
Yeah, and that's not going to happen anymore. Darrell Williams is really good. People don't understand that, like, he's good at the goal line too. Not that he's going to get too many goal line carries, but I really think that they're going to form a committee, and they could see what happened with the Chiefs. I mean, the offense was so much better when Darrell Williams played, and then when Clyde played, it was awful. So I don't know. I just think that even if they don't throw to Darrell Williams very much, I think that Darrell Williams was also brought in because his pass blocking is excellent. So I think they could just throw to the running back less and, use Darrell Williams' pass blocking ability to keep Kyler from some hits.
Connor basically had one game where he got more than 2 targets when Chase Edmonds was out.
Well, I mean, he didn't have that many targets all told. He didn't have that many targets.
He had one game with more than 2 targets when Edmonds
But
was out.
also, the other thing is, with another competent running back, what I can tell you is not going to happen again is that he's going to get 18 touchdowns on 239 touches. That is not going to happen.
I was looking at the wrong date.
Possibility.
I was looking at the wrong date. But his highest target game came actually with Edmonds in there.
Right. But this is more also arguing that I think that the 18 touchdown ceiling is gone. Darrell Williams is going to score some touchdowns, and he's going to take away, at some point.
I mean, he's not going to replicate 18 just anyway. He probably wouldn't have done it.
There was nobody else. I mean, Keontae Ingram was nothing. Keontae Ingram is nothing. I mean, he was a 6th-round pick. James Conner was going to be the workhorse, and now that's not going to happen. Now he's not going to be the workhorse. Now it's going to be a committee. So to me, everything changed. I have a very high opinion of Darrell Williams. So
a late year running back signing, I just don't think should take that much away.
Great point. That's actually a really great point that you make. Last year, by the way, just so you know, the Cardinals had Chase Edmonds as their starter, and sometime in May, they signed James Conner for a 1-year incentive-laden deal, and everyone just dismissed him.
It isn't
different though.
James Conner and Darrell Williams. James Conner had RB1
season. But if you had made the same argument that just because the signing was in late May for not a lot of money for someone that nobody else wanted, all of those things are true in this case too, then you would have missed out on the production that James Conner had last year.
When did James
I'm just saying.
Was he hurt? Was he coming off an injury? Why did he sign that late? I don't know.
Because nobody was interested. He wasn't very good in 2020, so people were not interested. I'm just saying the Cardinals did the exact same thing last year. So and then they gave that player a significant number of touches from the bat.
I want Darrell Williams to come to New Orleans.
I think that Darrell Williams, I was stunned that he hadn't signed because I really think that he was going to be a solid contributor to a backfield. I thought Philadelphia should have signed him. I really think that they needed someone that you can actually trust, unlike certain people who are not trustworthy. I still don't know what Philadelphia is doing. Their backfield is a disaster, but that's where I thought he was going to end up. But I also like this landing spot as well.
Yeah. As someone who has Darrell Williams stash from last year, this was a very ideal situation for my Dynasty roster.
We know that James Conner can get hurt at any time. And we know that Darrell Williams was an RB1 last year when he filled in. So he should be on a roster in Dynasty.
Conner averaged 23 points per game in 5 games without Chase Edmonds last year versus 14 points per game in the 10 that he played with him.
Yes. I think you're looking at more the latter. Now, I'd say 14 points a game is about right.
Kind of kills Keontae Ingram's value too.
You take that back.
Really, Truther, really interesting question. We hate most of the people in the end of the first round in a super flex PPR with 2.75 tight end premium, which is a huge premium. At the 108, what's too early to start thinking about taking the best tight end in the class right there? Trey McBride.
2.75. That's a lot.
I'm taking Trey McBride, the 1 point.
Yeah, I think I think at the 108, at 107, 108. I'll still take the big 6 players over McBride, but 107, 108. Yeah.
So Trey McBride or Sky Moore?
McBride with that kind of premium. McBride
in this scoring.
This is a ridiculous premium. So I'll take McBride.
Trey McBride or Chris Olave?
That's really what I'm deciding between.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll go with McBride.
Probably.
Yeah, that's tough. That is a huge.
I like premium. Trey McBride. I mean,
if McBride gets 40 receptions, Olave basically would need like 100 to match just
it's
the
true.
PPR scoring.
That's true. So that's a good sign. Yeah. When you put it that way.
Oh my gosh.
Stefan Peterson was asking about
better question.
Our Zodiac, he's asking now about what is or was our favorite Pokemon. I'll let you guys answer this.
I'm trying to think about a favorite. Well, I don't know if I have like so I actually used to play Pokemon Showdown. So I did have ones that I used as part of my battle team. I think the one I used the most was probably Gyarados. So I'll go with Gyarados.
Team Yu-Gi-Oh. I never played Pokemon.
Yu-Gi-Oh. I do like Yu-Gi-Oh too.
Yeah.
Not the new Yu-Gi-Oh. I only like the like
OG.
original Yu-Gi-Oh.
OG.
Yeah.
I'm way older than these guys, so
GX was like okay.
I did not do
And then I
Pokemon.
quit after that.
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know enough. You probably name some. And
Yeah,
I'll tell you if I've
you're
heard of
also
them.
Cal. Like you're the age where like
Pikachu.
well, you're the age.
I
I
do
think
know who that is. Yes.
You're too old for it, and your kids are too young.
Young for it.
Right.
Like your kids are too young for Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's right.
So you
they
kinda
never really
missed
got
out.
into it.
on these things. Where
Yep.
Addison and I are like a year apart. So mid 90s
Yeah.
born. So
Eric asking if a 24 first is enough to go down from Lamar to Dak.
yeah, I'll take
think
Dak
it
in
should be.
I'll take Dak in a 24 first over Lamar. Yeah, I will.
Mm-hmm.
Dak is underrated. Dak is underrated. People, I continuously hear, and I think this is mind blowing to me, that people are so much more in on Amari Cooper because Deshaun Watson is a huge upgrade over Dak Prescott, and I just don't agree. I don't agree with that. Dak Prescott has a similar history of passing production to Deshaun Watson, so I don't see that.
Yep.
Sorry.
Darnell Mooney and a 23 second or a 23 first.
It's a 23 first. Just with how much those are worth, it's a 23 first.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
it is.
It is.
I think too many people are looking at Darnell Mooney's season total targets and not looking at how many of them came like in the last 2 weeks.
Well, I mean, I think Darnell Mooney is going to have a huge year. I mean, I have Darnell Mooney in redraft ranked at 24.
I think that's where he finished last year, actually.
Yeah. So it's not he had 140 targets.
Yeah.
Right.
People think that
Like
I
30
think that's
in
what
the
he
last 2
gets.
weeks.
Well, I think that's
but
what
I
he
don't
gets the
care
entire
when
year.
they were. Like
If you just want to say that, like, because who else are they going to throw to?
nobody. And also like he was good. So I don't see why he wouldn't have those targets again.
Yeah.
But I'm still thinking it's 23 first. I mean, this is not a consideration.
Yeah.
29 of them in the last 2 weeks. Week 17.
Yeah,
and
but
18.
you could
16
splits
of them
are,
in week 18 when nobody
splits
cared.
are not. I don't know. I'm not overly concerned about that.
Would you trade Chris Godwin for a 23 first?
No.
No.
Because that person trading for Godwin is probably confident enough that they're competing.
Mm-hmm. Great
meaning
point.
that I think there's a better odds that it's a later first. Because like a rebuilding team that looks at their roster realistically and says, I'm not really going to compete next year, is not trading for Chris Godwin with a 23 first.
So on the day that but the day before Chris Godwin tore his ACL, I had him dynasty wide receiver, I think at the time, 6. That's how good I think Chris Godwin is.
I agree. I think he's really undervalued. I'm
Yep.
right there with you, Tyler. I think people forget how good he is.
Tanya has the option for Keenan Allen or Allen Robinson. Both are going to cost him 3.23 seconds. Half PPR.
I don't think I'm paying that for either one, but Keenan Allen is not washed, so I'll take Keenan Allen. Allen Robinson looked washed. Like the only way Allen Robinson is not washed is if he was not trying. That's what you have to say. That's the only way you can, because he looked like garbage. He looked terrible, absolutely awful. So the only way Allen Robinson is not washed is if he was actively not trying. And while that is, I can understand why he would feel that way. It's something I find hard to believe completely. It's hard for me to go all in on he wasn't trying. So I'm skeptical of Allen Robinson. So I'll definitely go with Keenan Allen.
Keenan.
Uh-oh. But I'm not sure I would pay 323 seconds even for Keenan. It's not that appealing to me. I'm not doing a cartwheel over that.
I would.
To be fair, I have Keenan Allen in redraft ranked as wide receiver 11. So I think that, I think this is it. I think this is the year that this is the last year, really. But I do think you have one year left.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Etienne earlier. Something that I'm not sure a lot of people know, Travis Etienne, was he the highest ever rated running back on your system, Addison?
It was in the group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
He hit on all the markers?
Yep.
I think
he was a full 8.8.
I feel like the best running back prospect ever has got to be Saquon Barkley, right?
It would be a toss-up between Barkley and Jonathan Taylor. If you talk to David Wilsey, his model has like Jonathan Taylor's like.
Yeah, but Jonathan Taylor wasn't a first-round pick, so it can't be him.
Right. Like, I don't know about models, but just go like look up highlights from Adrian Peterson in college, and like that's the best running back.
To be fair, Ezekiel Elliott and LaDainian Tomlinson were also really good running back prospects who were picked in the top 5 and delivered on everything that was asked of them and more.
Yep.
To be fair, so those are two other nominees for great running back prospect.
And Barry Sanders was good in college, by the way.
True. But that's way before my time.
Oh, so should he overpay?
No, we never want to overpay.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
I don't know. Also, like I am worried about his injury, so I'm not sold on.
He's healthy now.
I'm still worried about it. Look,
I'm not.
Everybody was like, "Oh, Cam's back," and then they saw him on the field and they were like, "Ooh, I don't know."
I'm not worried about Etienne.
Cam Rush though. Etienne has like over a year.
Etienne has had enough time.
He's had enough time to get to this point now, and then still has like 4 months before he actually has to suit up.
Also, all the news about Etienne's injury is all good, and that's a good sign.
And it wasn't an Achilles either.
Yeah, not that a Liz Frank is great. Oh, I'll grab that one.
A Liz Frank might be worse.
It's not. I've heard people say that, but that's false.
It's not good that he had the surgery. There's different levels of Liz Frank.
Well, it was an unstable one, but you're still better off with that. And Achilles until Cam Akers was just death sentence. So Kevin Durant too. It's like one of the first real success stories returning from an Achilles. But until a year ago, Achilles' injury was just death sentence.
Real quick before we get to Lil Colonel, which is an awesome name, by the way. I hope you're a rapper and that's your rap name because that's awesome. MJD had the Liz Frank fracture and he was never the same. Ronnie Brown, Darren McFadden, Amir Abdullah, Cedric. Like, there's a bunch of if you go.
But how many of those guys had that at the beginning of their career?
I mean, Amir Abdullah and Darren McFadden was 24.
But first of all, Darren McFadden was still good after that.
He had a pretty solid career after.
Yeah, his career lasted for quite a while after that. And Darren McFadden was not that great anyway. So we have the super chat. So traded Elijah Mitchell, Juju, Calvin Ridley, and Jahan Dotson for Justin Fields, a top 3 23 first and 23 third. So that's easily the field side, right? This is not a close trade at all.
I agree.
Yeah,
I don't even
Fields
care that it's more than likely a top 3 23 first. Like if it's Fields in the 109 next year.
I mean, is Fields worth similar to the other side on his own? I mean, none of that is particularly appealing. I mean, it's a bunch of nothing.
Yeah, and the problem is that you're not getting the other side doesn't have the quarterback, so you're getting the quarterback in Superflex.
Yeah, it's easily the field side. This is not a close trade. So you did a great job because it sounds like you got the field side. So we give you 2 thumbs up. All right, let's go back up.
No, well, yeah. If you took almost any of these parts out, you still want the other side, right? Like Fields, you took him out, you still kind of want the first and third.
That's probably overkill, though. To give all of that just for one first is probably overkill. You don't have to do that.
That's definitely the side that you want.
Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
Easily. It's not close.
The fact that we thought about it was
yeah.
Yes.
Well, I didn't think about it.
No, I mean the fact that we thought about Cal saying is the
Oh yeah,
is the
yeah, yeah.
23
That we
first
thought about it without
individually.
Fields. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
By
Let's
the way, Darren McFadden was not great after that injury. By
He had
the way,
1,000
just go
yards.
look it up.
It took him a few
Like
years.
4 years later, 5 years later. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. We just did that one. Would you move on from Bateman now or wait and see how he does in his new role?
I could take it or leave it. I mean, depends on what you're being offered. Bateman is someone who's valued wildly differently depending on who you're asking. So he's someone that I would, since the values are wildly different, I would consider trying to trade. But if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I don't mind holding him.
Yeah. No, I'm riding it for sure because I don't think his like I don't think people are all in on Bateman really getting there. Like there's still a lot of people that are skeptical, and I'm in on him as a prospect, as the wide receiver 1 for the Ravens. I want to see how it shakes out.
I don't think you'd like where I had Rashad Bateman ranked in redraft.
Probably not.
Yeah, it's 31.
It's not as terrible as I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Is it volume concerns for you? Is that why?
Volume, talent.
Yeah. Because the problem is, like, I saw a tweet literally right before we came on here that people were saying that, like, if Baltimore goes back to their super run heavy ways that they did in 2020, Hollywood had a 25% market share, which equated to barely 100 targets.
And 25% market share is elite.
Yeah.
In case people don't know what that.
Yeah. Like, that would be like
elite.
top 10 in.
Yeah, 25% is DeAndre Hopkins' early Texans career.
Yeah. The problem is that 25% of 400 pass attempts
is not so good.
Right. That's equivalent to like 15% of like Justin Herbert, so.
Oh, Justin Herbert is just so good. Thank you for the super sticker.
Thank you.
I didn't know we had super stickers.
I would say the move, if you got him, if you wanted to move him, is to use him to trade up to a better wide receiver. I don't think he's got enough standalone value to but if you take him and like a first round pick this year or something like that, and you can get up into the whatever Debo or somebody like that, maybe you do that.
I'm here for it.
How high do you take Pitts and Mark Andrews in a Superflex tight end premium startup? Do they sneak into the late first?
Pitts does. Andrews doesn't yet for me.
Yeah, Andrews is a early second rounder.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. Andrews also like older than people think.
27, right?
He turns 27 on September 6th, so right before the season. Not old, but Pitts is 5 years younger, more.
He's 25 in the
yes, DLF that we've been through this already. That is wrong.
That's not true.
And no, this is the second time I've brought it up on this show. The official date is.
We should talk to whoever runs.
We should talk to whoever runs that. I wonder who that could be. But it's 95. September 6th, 1995 is the official NFL birthday.
Let's see. 7 seconds, 1 this year, 3 in 2023, 2 in 24. Good return for one
what? One what?
For one parentheses, and no, I'm going to say no.
One projected late first. 7. It's like, how do you even? I don't even.
What was it? 7 of what?
7 of what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you go back to the first comment?
Yeah.
Oh.
7 seconds.
So 1 this year, 3 in 23.
That's 6. For one late first this year?
Ask us again. We'll get to it in an hour.
I would rather have the 7 seconds, I think.
I guess so.
If I'm
yeah,
reading this right.
This is such a silly question.
In rebuild, QBs are Fields, Mac Jones, Willis, and Pickett. Gross. Should I trade Etienne or Walker for Tua straight up?
I mean, yes.
I don't think that's solving the problem.
That's not solving the problem, but in terms of just value, Tua is worth more than those guys.
Oh, so would you trade Eckler and David Bell for Tua?
No.
But why specifically those players?
Because Dynasty Outhouse, Russ offered me that.
I would take if I'm strongly competing, I could see taking Eckler and Bell, but otherwise I would take Tua.
This isn't, like what I would do here for you is I would take like Fields and one of those running backs and get a better quarterback.
Yeah, I mean, Fields is not
Like
a player
Trevor
I really
Lawrence?
want. Ooh, yeah, that one.
Oof.
Yeah, Trevor
No,
Lawrence,
don't
I
do
think,
that.
well, in redraft, I've ranked him very highly. Not that highly, but it's higher than I thought I would rank him.
He has a super chat as well.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
I think this is more context for his.
Oh, context. Okay.
Walker.
So he has a lot of picks.
Young team.
Yeah, I mean, I would give up ETN for Tua pretty easily. So
yeah, had a
that
lot of
would
picks in this draft, obviously.
yeah, I would give up ETN for Tua if you can do that. Quarterbacks are worth so much in Superflex.
I would definitely, I would trade ETN for that for sure.
Yeah, me too.
According to the trade analyzer, ETN and Fields should be able to net you a Deshaun Watson, Russell
Yeah,
Wilson,
It cannot.
Ooh.
I don't think it can net you Deshaun Watson.
Jalen Hurts.
Maybe just
This is like giving you some as well.
Yeah. So the problem is that nobody wants Fields anymore. Nobody wants him because the Bears have are a failure as an organization, and they actually have a bigger problem. They have an entrenched, what I would call, I have a new phrase for them. They have an entrenched failure. Failure is entrenched because the ownership of the Bears is actually the problem. They continue to hire incompetent coaches and incompetent general managers who, in this case, have done nothing with this roster. They've not fixed any of their problems. And the coaching staff just doesn't seem ready to coach an NFL team. So I don't think so. I don't want Justin Fields in that environment. I just don't think that he's going to be able to succeed there. I feel bad for him. But, if he's bad, then what happens if they have a top 3 pick next year? You think that they're going to stick with Fields, or you think that they could make a move to a different guy? I think they could make a move to a different guy. I don't think they'd be committed to Fields after a 3-14 season. So
would trade a 23-second for Toney.
No,
I might trade a 23-4 for Toney. 23-second, no.
Grant doesn't know how to value quarterbacks in 1 QB leagues anymore. Any advice for context? I have Lamar, Hurts.
I have some good advice.
And Cousins, and got offered 201 plus Tannehill for 310 and Hurts.
Yeah, I have good advice. So my advice to you is to join some more super flex leagues.
Keep Hurts.
But I will take who even cares? I'll take the 201 and Tannehill, I guess.
I'll take Hurts.
I'll take Hurts.
I don't care about the 201.
The 201 is the drop off.
Yeah.
I'll still take that side.
12-team, 1 QB, Metcalf or Olave and Walker.
This is a good question, actually.
I'll take the rookies.
I will as well. It's very close.
Yep.
This is very close. Very, very close. I'll take a Walker and Olave, but that's a very fair offer.
Bonnie's asking for the tacos. They were on the cart. You missed them. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Bonnie.
oh no.
Henry
Sorry,
got
Bonnie.
them all, and
A little
Henry.
late.
Yeah, he's always early and takes the tacos. Don says 12 teams. Superflex just sent CD plus 2024 second for Terry McLaurin, 2023 first, and a 2024 first. What do you think?
Well, I like the trade, but I don't really like Terry McLaurin. So, yeah. I would maybe do this trade and then try to trade McLaurin for something else. But
There may be a video about that coming out here pretty soon.
Well,
that might
the
help you
problem
trade
is-
Terry McLaurin.
The problem is that Terry McLaurin is just, he's valued very highly, but he hasn't really produced at that value. So
Terry
hasn't
McLaurin is what CD Lamb should be valued as because they produce very similarly.
Yeah, except CeeDee Lamb is far younger and also have more hope because he plays with Dak.
Right.
Addison.
Whereas Terry McLaurin plays with Carson Wentz. And Carson Wentz is not good. It's not good.
Yeah. I love the tier down 100% to pick up the 2 extra firsts, and then I would tier down Terry McLaurin again.
Oh,
yeah. So, like,
could you get Marquise Brown?
Oh, I would love to.
Oh, I would love that, but
I don't think you will.
So here, I have an important question for you. So, how many yards do you think the Colts' second receiving weapon had in 2021?
Let me try to think who the Colts' second receiving was. It Zach Pascal?
It was Zach Pascal, but how many yards did he have?
483.
573.
You're both too high. It's 384.
Dang it.
So that was, and then Michael Pittman wasn't even that great. He had 1,082. That's nice, but
that's like essentially what McLaurin did. I remember researching.
Yeah, but if McLaurin does that, that's not good enough for where he's priced in his ADP. He needs to do better than that.
It's essentially the same. It's what he's done for the past like 3 years. Like,
yeah, and there was no Jahan Dotson or Logan Thomas, anything like that on the Colts in 2021. So I'm highly concerned about Terry McLaurin.
Yeah. Yep.
What RB dead zone guys do you think is better than the Fields says it is? So
Kareem Hunt.
Oh.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt is on the list, I suppose. It's a younger player. I mean, Rachaad White for me is higher in my rankings than ADP. A lot of the dead zone guys, Aaron Jones, Ezekiel Elliott, are guys I'm totally out on.
To me, it's Kareem Hunt. Kareem Hunt is like Leonard Fournette for me from last year, to where like I think that we're just kind of undervaluing him because he got hurt and he's going to be turning 27 in like 3 months. But every game he's like the RB 14 or better.
Also, like, I think I've influenced the ADP because we've reached a point where Clyde Edwards-Helaire is actually higher in my rankings than any ADP. I genuinely do think that I've influenced that ADP because I've noticed that since AskDLF started, the players that I constantly rag on have started to lose value over time.
I love this question, BJ, but we are over an hour late now, so I'm gonna try and see if we can get caught up a little bit. Devontae, I'm assuming
I don't even know. I don't know who that is.
Smith.
No, it's not. That's an undrafted. The answer to this question is no.
Who is
hanging
that?
on to in deeper league?
He was a UDFA that I think signed with the Colts, who now also added Tyson Williams to Phillip Lindsay on their roster. So the answer to this question is no.
Do you like holding random undrafted rookies, Kovac, Jerome Ford, Bo Melton, or the end of the road guys with minor flex value like Mostert, Zay, Jones, Sterling, Shepard?
Jerome Ford was not undrafted.
Yeah, Jerome Ford was not undrafted, and neither was Bo Melton. Kovac, I don't know who that is. To be
undrafted
honest.
Free agent for Minnesota.
I don't know who that is, so I'm not interested.
But I like the possible Kovac horseman name you could have for your
Jerome Ford is someone I'm interested in.
In general, yes. Roster construction. I want to have more running backs on my roster than wide receivers. So I like the concept of this. I don't know that specifically those are the ones I want, but yes.
Right. Like I'd rather have Sterling Shepard and Zay Jones and Mostert over all those guys probably.
I mean, I have Jerome Ford kind of in there with those guys, but yeah,
right.
Bo Melton.
Yeah, he's not too far behind, but like Sterling Shepard, I still think is pretty solid. Like dude was averaging like 15 points a game last year for like the 5 games that he played.
He tore his Achilles. Like I think for someone like Sterling Shepard, that's the end of Sterling Shepard.
Might be. Which is more hope for Wandale. Zay Jones, I think, also has kind of sleeper-ish value.
Yeah, I'm more interested in Zay Jones than I am in Sterling Shepard.
Yeah, I am too. And Mostert, just because the Dolphins are going to be the AFC Niners and they're just going to plug and play like anybody that they want.
I was a lot more interested in Mostert before they signed.
We just hit 100.
Woohoo! Alex apparently has a glut of 23 first. They're burning a hole in his pocket, and he wants to get a younger player. I don't think I would be looking at it.
If you're rebuilding, why are you trading 23 firsts away?
Yeah.
They're only going to rise in value. I would not do this.
Too risky.
Right.
Like if you're going for a championship and you want to in November do this, fine. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Keep your first.
We did this already.
Yeah. Are we dropping Marquez Callaway?
Marquez Callaway?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. He's not a must hold at this point.
They added 2 wide receivers ahead of him, and that's not even including if Thomas comes back.
Yeah. No, you're right. He's probably a solid drop at this point.
I'd rather have Deontay Harris. But neither are.
I don't know if I'd rather have Deontay Harris, but yeah,
but
Marcus Callaway can probably go.
But if I wants to trade Godwin for Sutton in a 24 seconds, so I can confirm people have forgotten how good he is. Yeah, I do think people are getting tired of seeing him on their roster for some reason, and I don't really get that.
Yeah, I'll take Godwin there easily.
I will too.
Oh no, FFP wants to know what we think about Penny. People get mad. People blocked me about my
Penny's
Penny
already injured.
Is he really?
Mm-hmm.
Mild hamstring injury. But
mild. That's going to take him right into the training camp.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not ideal.
I don't really like Penny. I think that Walker is obviously the starter.
It's Kenneth Walker, dude.
After the season, I don't know if you remember, Tyler, but people were talking about Penny, and I was like, what? The Seahawks are definitely adding somebody. Like, I feel like I was the only person saying, like, they're going to add, like, this is not, you don't want Penny. They're not going to go into the season with Penny and Carson. No way. They're not going to trust that. And I think you should trust having Penny on your roster as much as the Seahawks do.
Yeah, that's true.
You should have taken the second when you could.
Yep.
Yeah, multiple time failure. There you go, Ed. Would have sold him by now. Yes, I did. You know what? I did. I found out I've got him in one league. I totally forgot about, and I can't get rid of him now.
We're only at 9. How are we only at 9-13? How are we only at 9-13? Like, what?
Oh, I know. Any younger player you were targeting? Okay, we did this one. Man,
yeah, we did that. We did that one. Don't repeat the questions. Does not help you get it answered.
10-team Superflex, Burrow and Tyler Boyd for Hurts, Cooks, and a 23 first. Give me the first and Hurts.
Yeah, with a 10-team Superflex, I am not as desperate for Burrow, so I'll take the Hurts side.
Oh, Henry does not play Superflex.
Come on, Henry.
Give it the times, Henry. Addison hates Superflex.
Why?
It's a Band-Aid.
Have
you seen that? Have you seen that GIF where it's like the dude with like the Flex Seal tape on the water cut? That's what Superflex is.
No, I haven't seen that, bro.
Yeah, that's.
Go check out Dynasty Refinery episode with me and Addison. We talk a little bit about it in there. Caleb Higdon, the single QB, 10-team, 110 and 201, or a 23 first.
23 first.
Dustin's late. It's okay. Like, just next time, give us a heads up. Let us know. Like, tell us ahead of time, not after.
He was coaching his volleyball team to a national championship.
National championship.
Oh my gosh!
Great job.
Hey, look, I've won 4 national championships
in chess, right?
Yep.
Somebody challenged. I want to see a live stream of you on your channel doing it.
People from the fantasy football community have challenged me, and most of them, after they did, never wanted to play me again. So
I like this question. This is probably more in depth than we probably could or should get into
I'll
right
answer, here. Where is this one? Where are we?
I'll start for you. I got you.
All right, for me.
Tyler would have been a big failure if he was about to compare Jameson to Ruggs.
I never said Ruggs. Cal did.
No, that wasn't me. I didn't say
that.
That
Was Addison.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't me.
Let's see. Are you changing your strategy and start 11, 1 QB league? Start 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 flexes.
Basically just to give this a general answer, and I think we'll leave it there. When you start more players, you worry about depth more. You're more likely to take the 2 side of a 2 for 1 or the 3 side of a 3 for 1 than you would in a league with a shallower lineup. But yeah, other than that, a more answer than that is that's not a show question.
Yeah,
I am significantly I'm already a 0 RB guy. This makes it even more in the 0 RB camp.
I'm fine with that.
I'm taking so many wide receivers. Yeah. Williams or Wilson, stacked at wideout. Who do you take at 105? Don't worry about your roster.
Draft for value, and I'll take Wilson.
Wilson. Woo.
Compared to
Yeah.
12 teams Superflex, Mixon or late 23 first, Hopkins and Connor.
First.
Yeah, just give me the first, and then I'll deal with whatever I get from the players to replace Mixon. But I want the first.
Let's see.
That's the answer.
Oh, Tony is Kevin White. No, he's not that.
Ooh.
He's not.
No, Tony's not Kevin White.
They're very different players.
No, Kevin White just never could stay on the field. Whereas Tony, I feel like it's more than injuries. I feel like we have a lot of other problems.
He's Allen Iverson, and we just don't know if that works as a football player yet.
Justin Blackman.
Not a game. Practice.
That's right.
Exactly. Practice.
Yep. Yeah, I think we did this question too.
Guys, ask the questions once. Like, I promise we either get to them or won't, but we're never gonna get to something later that we didn't get to earlier.
Sent Hollywood and Ronald Failure 2022. I'm doing that's Ronald Jones 107 and 110 for AJ Brown and Kamara.
Ooh.
Okay. This is it's AJ Brown and Kamara.
Yeah.
If I'm being generous, Hollywood 107 and 110 is about the same as AJ Brown. So, and Kamara is worth a lot more than Rojo.
Yeah.
Trogdor says Allen Robinson and Higbee just went for a 24 first. I can't believe people are still rostering Higbee.
I do think, though, the Rams are kind of a weird situation because if it's not Higbee, somebody's going to play that tight end role. If someone could emerge, I think actually that's somewhere where you have a lot of leverage. The problem is that I don't know if it's Kendall Blanton, Bryson Hopkins, or Jacob Harris. I think it's Kendall Blanton, if I had to choose one of the three. But that's just a guess.
First.
But it's the first.
1 QB, 10-man, Pittman, Godwin, or Deontay in the 24 first.
Pittman, Godwin.
Yeah, Pittman and Godwin. It's close, though.
I love Deontay.
It's close. I do love Deontay.
Ed is getting on to everybody. There's over 100 in here. There's only 10 thumbs up. I don't know how many thumbs up there are, but make sure that you have hit that like button. Show some love, people, as Ed says.
Hey, it's telling that the times we've broken 100 I think they've all been with Addison.
Candace Kondo says, is Russ, Lance, Trubisky, and Geno Smith a deep enough QB room for a contender? Want to trade away Cousins for a first? Rest of the team is great.
No.
I would rather.
I'd say no. I'd say it's not good enough, so I would not do this.
Yeah, I like the idea of Cousins for the first, but I think you need Cousins.
I think you need him, yeah.
I think I'd rather be. Oh man, gosh.
I think if you need to break the quarterback bank, I would, instead of trading Cousins away, I might look to trade Russ or Lance down to a lower quarterback and get another receiver. If that maybe you need that. It's just tough to come up with an idea without knowing what combinations of players your opponents have. Yeah. But I would say I would not feel comfortable with that quarterback room on a contender.
Cousins has 2 more years.
Yeah, but I also think that I don't think Cousins is 2 more years and out of the NFL either. I think Cousins has more than 2 more years.
Right. That's why I mean, like you get 2 more years.
The corpse of Matt Ryan is 37 and has 2 more years left now.
Yeah.
So
Trubisky might not even start week 1, and Geno Smith might not even start week 1.
Well, Geno Smith is not going to start week 1, and
Trubisky is competing with Drew Lock, so
he's not competing. Baker Mayfield is going to start for them.
Honestly, if I were the Niners, I'd give him Jimmy G.
I do think that Baker Mayfield. It's interesting that he wasn't on the plane to the Bahamas.
There was no way he was going up to that.
But I thought that would have been more fun. Oh, I know, but it would have been funny if he did. I would have very much enjoyed it.
I bet he would have been traded by now if he did.
Yeah, well, I think he should have then.
Justin Tech, JT for Javonte Williams and Waddle. That's more like it, I guess. Closer.
I hope that's Javonte Williams. If it's Jameson Williams, then
then it's not. Yeah, that's not so good. If that's Javonte and Waddle, I think I'll take Javonte and Waddle.
Yeah.
If that's Jameson Williams and Waddle, then I'll take JT.
It's got to be
Yeah.
Javonte.
Yeah, it has to be. I hope.
Shoot, hang on, hold
happened?
please. Okay, there we go. Telemed, these three offer. Yeah, we're tons of fantastic. At least two out of three are offering great advice right now. You should hit the like button. Fadis Condo, chilling was a 5-month-old, loving the kid advice. Thanks, guys. Good. 14 teams, Superflex, ETN, JMO, and 23 second or Debo and Saquon.
Debo and
Saquon.
Easy.
Yep.
Fadis Condo, yes. Okay, there we go. Ta-ta-da. Sweet spot for rounds. For a 12-team Superflex. I see.
This is. I think I understand what you're trying to ask. No, I know what he's asking. He's asking like where we feel the value is in a startup the most. But that is a very difficult question to answer because after the first couple of rounds, who I would draft wildly deviates from ADP. So I don't really think about it this way. I will say that I think the best I can do is if I'm in a super flex draft at the top, I either want one of those top 5 quarterbacks, not Joe Burrow, but Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, Kyler, or Lamar. And if I can't get one of those, I might hold on to my pick at 6, 7, 8, or 9 to see if I can get one of those by luck. Usually it's Kyler who drops. But if I can't get one of those players, I might look to trade down. And then I do not like the second round of Superflex like at all. I would almost never recommend making a second round pick. I'd almost always want to trade that down. But once you get too far beyond the third, it's the drafts just vary so wildly. I can't tell you which round is going to be the best.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's the third round. The problem also with Superflex is that quarterback values differ so wildly.
Yeah. I would just say for me, I almost never find my second round pick in Superflex to be enjoyable.
No.
I don't generally like the value in the second round. So it's more against the second round than anything else.
Yep, I agree.
Open 24 hours, 3 amigos. We haven't been called that before, so good. I like that. I love the show. Let's see. 12 teams, Superflex, 108 and 207 or 104.
104.
Just took Hollywood 712 in a Superflex startup. A lot of people out.
Yeah, I love it. I have him but quite a bit higher. I have him at the 605.
Big trade for Talon right here. Najee, Kittle, Olave, excuse me. Hollywood 4, Mixon, Pitts, Devonta Smith, and Claypool. Interesting.
It is interesting.
It's easily the Najee side.
Yeah. It's not that easily, but it is that side for me. I mean, Olave and Smith are very similar. Najee and Pitts are kind of similar, assuming it's not tight end premium.
Yep.
And then I'd rather have Kittle and Hollywood over Mixon and Claypool.
Yep.
So Najee side. It's not wildly unfair though.
Pitts is the most valuable player here.
If it's not tight end premium, Najee has a higher ranking.
It says tier PPR.
Pitts is the most valuable, but then Kittle and Najee are the next 2.
Right.
Mixon.
Yeah. Well, then Hollywood's probably in there too, right? So yeah.
Yeah. No, I get it.
Interesting. Taco Tuesday, P to the R. What's up, dude? Appreciate you coming in. C-Mac is that guy.
If he's healthy.
He is that guy.
If he's healthy.
101 redraft.
No.
Yeah.
I won't give up.
No.
Ooh, 702. Lots of 7th round here for Hollywood.
Love it.
Do you like any rookie tight ends? I kind of like Trey McBride.
Only McBride.
At a reasonable cost.
Famous Condo. Can't wait to do his next startup. Favorite round 4 and later quarterback assets in current. Okay, so like
all right.
Lower end quarterbacks in Superflex.
Okay, so
is Carr there yet? Or not yet?
Carr. All right. So the quarterbacks, when I do this with Patreon, then the quarterbacks I tend to end up with are some of the following: Carr, like you said, Mac Jones, and those are the 2 that I seem to find myself with the most that are in later rounds.
Cousin.
Not Cousins, because I'm an ageist, so I wouldn't tend to get Cousins. Used to be Zach Wilson, but his price has come up. I had a lot of Zach Wilson earlier in the offseason. And Kenny Pickett, actually, I don't mind. The price on Kenny Pickett in startups is very reasonable. So another one that I'm good with him. But yeah, it's generally I don't like to take quarterbacks in that range. I usually like to have quarterbacks earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but those would be my targets. If you already have like a QB, if you have a 1 or a 2 and you need a 2 or a 3, those would be guys for sure.
Oh, also I will say that in almost every draft that I've helped people with, Baker or Jimmy G or both ends up on my team.
I think it's a good strategy.
Well, okay, so
because they're going to jump in value.
The sleeper ADP has them projected to not play, so they're way down on the list. So people miss them. So there are players that I would consider. I've seen them go in the 14th, 15th, or 16th rounds.
Holy crap.
Yeah. So I would actually say those were the players that actually ended up with the most. But if we're talking about a legit asset, Carr or Mac Jones are the two.
Brees or a 23 first in ETN?
I'm going to still stick with Brees there, but it's very close. I'll stick with Brees. It's close, though.
That first needs to be top like 4 or 5.
Well, if it's one QB, I'll stick with Brees easily. If it's super flex, I'll still stick with Brees, but it's a more reasonable trade.
There's probably like 3 running backs in next year's class that are probably equivalent to Brees Hall, but they're going to be 101, 102, 103.
Yeah. No, but in the super flex with the quarterbacks in there, it's much more appealing. And in super flex, I probably don't risk it. Or in a super flex, this is probably one of those. It's probably a deal I'm not making. As in, if I had the 23 first in ETN, I'm probably not giving it up for Hall. But if I had Hall, I'm probably not giving it up. Not giving him up for this. I'd want more. In a 1 QB, I'll take Hall no matter what.
I'm with it.
Tua, can he make the jump? What do we think?
No.
There's a pretty ball.
Yes.
No, I think you're going to be disappointed, but I also think that Tua is going to be okay, and he's going to be good enough to prevent the Dolphins from getting another quarterback. So I think he'll be just okay.
Waddle over Hill for me, by the way.
In Dynasty, yes. In redraft, I have Hill higher.
No, I think he outscores him this year.
That seems very unlikely to me.
The great thing about Tua is that you know basically when you can play him. Like I'm looking at his game log from last year. His 5 top 13 finishes were against the Jaguars, the Falcons, the Jets, the Giants, and the Jets.
But I don't think that that's specific to Tua. I think a lot of quarterbacks are like that.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like Tua, we know Tua's playing the Jets twice. You know.
Yeah, but the Jets' defense has been significantly improved.
But he also had a coach that hated him. So, like, his coach seems to actually like him now. So,
and there's also you add Tyreek Hill. So, like,
yeah, I'm skeptical of Tua. I mean, I have Tua in redraft at quarterback 16, so I'm not in.
I'm hopeful.
Eric flipped Russell Wilson for Mac Jones and Jameson Williams. What do you think?
Oh.
Mac Jones 106 and Jameson Williams for Russell Wilson. I'll take that package.
I think he got Williams at 106.
Yeah, Williams.
Oh,
Mac and Williams.
That makes more sense. Mac and Williams for Wilson. It's not good enough for me, actually. Not good enough. I'll take Wilson. I feel like Mac Jones just doesn't have any upside. So I'm going to need more.
What was the trade that we did earlier? The tiered. It was Garrett Wilson and Zach Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Zach Wilson in the 23 first.
Yeah, so
I like it better.
I do.
Well, I prefer. I prefer Garrett Wilson over Jameson Williams by a lot.
Right.
More than Mac Jones over Zach Wilson.
10-team Superflex Happy VR contending team just made a trade. Fournette, AJ Brown, and Keenan Allen gave up Pittman, McLaurin, Brian Robinson, and Allen Robinson. Ooh.
Yeah, so AJ Brown is worth almost as much as the entire other side to me. So the AJ Brown side wins by a lot. Yeah.
People don't like AJ Brown.
I don't know why.
It's weird.
8-man, 2 QB. What? 223 second.
Yes.
For 23 first.
Yes.
Can you see either Irv or Brevin Jordan being a top 5 tight end in like 2024, so the next couple of years? Other than Pitts or Andrews, all the current top tight ends are Kelsey, Waller, Kittle. Will be fading from age, I'm assuming.
Talent's not there on Brevin Jordan. Brevin Jordan to me is more of a just like speculative maybe player that you'll be able to stream here and there. I mean, even Dynasty, even now, I have Brevin Jordan at Dynasty tight at 25. Irv Smith, the talent is definitely there.
The targets are not.
The targets are not there, but that could change. You know, he's not even 24. He turned 24 just before the season. So, and Adam Thielen is definitely on the decline. The wall is coming. He was not as good last year. And now he's going to be 32. So I don't know if he's going to, I would expect him to continue to decline. But top 5, I just don't see Irv. I'm not sure I've ever seen Irv Smith as a top 5 kind of player. Like, I think his ceiling is like
Goddard.
Yeah, but like, you know, Dalton Schultz had a top 5 season.
Dalton Schultz is actually good though.
Right, but I think wouldn't you say that given Irv Smith's profile that his ceiling is just as good as that? Like,
sure,
if it all
if he got
came together. Yeah, if it came together, like he could do it. But I don't see Irv as someone who's going to be reliably that kind of player, to be honest. He does not have top tier upside. He's never going to be in the tier with the Pitts, Andrews, Kittle, Kelsey guys.
I was going to say, I think people are going to be surprised when those 4 are still very easily top 5 tight ends in 2024.
I do think that there are some contenders. I mean, Hawkinson and Goddard and Freiermuth and McBride are some of them. But yeah, there are not a lot of other guys.
Yeah.
But Michael Mayer is coming.
Yes.
Hey, Addison, is TJ Hawkinson a difference maker tight end?
He was for the first 2 weeks. when you rescinded your TJ Hawkinson hate.
Yeah, I did point to the way he was being used was a little bit different, and then they went right back to using him like they did the year before, which was stupid.
Well, I remember him having a quote of like, "Yeah, I've noticed that defenses are actually starting to scheme for me because the Lions have nobody else."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know if he's a difference maker, but tight end is so brutal.
Yeah. The like mental piece of having Hawk just in your lineup every week instead of playing that tight end game is just so nice.
It's also really hard because Hawkinson, like, there was a clear top 4, right? I mean, Pitts, Andrews, Kittle, and Kelsey. But the next 3 guys all got their value like torpedoed. Like Hawkinson, they added Jameson Williams, and they also signed DJ Chark, who's not irrelevant. So the target competition has went from nothing to a lot. And then, but the other 2 were even worse. Darren Waller's value was eliminated when Devontae Adams showed up. That Darren Waller's high-end upside now no longer exists. And then Dallas Goedert's high-end upside also vanished into thin air when A.J. Brown appeared. So the tight end landscape became much worse this offseason because there's really not much after those top few.
From week 3 on last year, TJ Hawkinson was the tight end 21. You know who was tight end 20?
Evan
Ingram, who he mentions right here.
No.
Jaguars, yes.
Yeah, I don't want Evan Ingram.
Hawk did miss time. He averaged less than 10 points per game.
I would just say that tight end is brutal. So I'm either probably getting one of those top 4. I actually don't mind Hawkinson's price. But yeah, I don't know. It's tough.
I think I would do Hawk for Hollywood though.
I would as well in this format. I would rather have
Bateman and Sutton.
I'd actually rather have Hollywood or Bateman over Hawk, not Sutton. Sutton, I just don't see it.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there.
Sutton to me is Sutton. I used to say Juju is the most overrated player, but now it seems like everyone's with me and absolutely despises Juju. But Sutton, I think, Sutton still has defenders, and Sutton to me is the most overrated player might be one of the most overrated players in the entire NFL, let alone fantasy football, let alone Dynasty. But he's one where I just don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, he was abysmal in the games that Jerry Jeudy played. 4 fantasy points a game, that bad? I mean, 4 PPR points a game, not over 6 games, not over 8 games, over 10 games. And those were later. So you can't make the excuse that he wasn't healthy. The good games were the first 5. And then the bad ones came when he should have been more recovered from his injury. So there's no excuse. It's just that not that good. That's really all it is.
You painted a really ugly picture for Seahawks wide receivers.
Oh, yes. Drew Lock. Drew disaster. Do we need to do the throwing motion?
No. Scooby-Doo ATL 101. Who do I take at 108 in a startup?
We talked about this earlier. How I would keep the 108 in case Lamar or Kyler dropped. Kyler.
Take either one.
Definitely Kyler. It was Kyler before. And after the Hollywood trade, it's easily Kyler.
Lamar.
Whoever it is.
Lil Colonel just traded Elijah Mitchell, Juju, Calvin Ridley.
We did this one already.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, then he super chatted this one.
He super chatted.
Oh, yeah.
That is a good way to get us to answer the question immediately.
It is. Let's go Dragon Knight. I don't know what Dragon Knight is. Oh, okay. Trying to take advantage of Burrow's value and also acquire some depth. What could be downgrade? Could I make?
Well,
Trevor Lawrence.
See that Burrow trade from like the beginning of the show?
Yeah. In some places, you can trade Burrow for Kyler or Lamar plus. Try that.
Oh my gosh.
No, I'm serious. Try it.
I mean, I'm for it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Mine would be Stafford.
Stafford's kind of old.
Fantasy traded Calvin Ridley to move up 5 spots in the rookie draft to take Trey McBride, and also got a 24 second and a 10.
I'd rather have McBride over Ridley straight up. So
what the heck? Yeah.
I'll take McBride.
How did you do that?
Some people just think that Calvin Ridley's going to come back, but I think Calvin Ridley's finished mostly. I mean, if he comes back, that would be great. But to me,
I don't care if he comes back. I just don't want him on my roster.
Treat Calvin Ridley kind of like how are you going to treat Will Fuller when he signs? That's how I would think of Calvin Ridley. Someone who just has been out of sight, out of mind for so long, and is just who knows what they're going to have left. And there'll be Ridley will be a similar age next year to what Fuller is now. So that's kind of how I would think of Calvin Ridley. So I'd rather have McBride in the second over that type of asset.
Or like Antonio Brown.
Also, Ridley looked like crap in the 6 games that he played, by the way. He was terrible. Absolutely awful. I mean, it was one of the worst stretches of his career. Extremely inefficient. Didn't look good at all. So it's not like he was good in 2021 and then went out. So that increases my concern level extremely.
Justin traded away Cup and Diggs as a contender. We shall a running back for Judy, Saquon, Brees, and a 23 first. And Mike Williams. Is that a good trade?
How'd you get all of these things?
I'd rather have Cup and Diggs.
No, you wouldn't.
Yes, I would.
Wait, hang on. So 101 and a 2023 first.
Oh, to me, this is a smash accept for the package side.
You love Saquon now.
No, I don't.
You love Saquon.
No, I don't. But
Tyler,
I don't understand. This trade is not even close. I mean, Hall and Cup have similar value to me, and then I'd much rather have the rest of the stuff over Diggs.
Yeah, I think I'm on the other side. I think I skipped over the 23 first.
Yeah, I think you skipped that part. I think you skipped the most important part. But this trade is not even close. This is miles over. You can put it in the trade analyzer if you want. The trade analyzer will tell you that it's like at least 75% to 100% over on the 23 first side.
Alex says Mooney 301 and 305 for Bateman.
Interesting. I'll take Bateman there.
Bateman.
Yeah, I'll lean Bateman there.
Bateman's going to have more targets than Mooney.
I am not sure about that. I am not sure about that. Mooney had 140 last year.
I would take.
I don't think Bateman has 140.
Mooney had a lot of irrelevant targets that didn't help us.
I
don't care
will
about
bet.
those.
I will
If
bet
you-
that Mooney has more targets.
I was gonna say, if you
I
take
don't
away
actually-
weeks 17 and 18, I still think Mooney would have had more targets than what Bateman is going to get.
Yeah, I don't. I
Probably
don't think I
didn't have
should
more than
Mooney.
he did
I would say
get.
if I were projecting targets, I would project Mooney for about 30 more. So I don't think it's close.
No.
With that being said, I want Bateman anyway. Situation
Bateman or Brown?
Brown.
Cousins and a 23 second or Goff and a 23 first?
Cousins.
I guess. But I'm not giving up my 23 first to do this. So this is another one of those trades that I'm probably not making. If I had Cousins, I want more. If I have a 23 first, this is not what I'm using it on.
Yep.
A lot of trades. So, okay, this is something we've probably heard now. I think this is the fourth time on this show and has come up a lot. And I think it's coming a lot more up with 23 firsts this year. We're hearing a lot of trades where I'm saying, if you had either side, keep what you had. A lot of it's because I really, really do not want to give up my 23 first. But if I have a player, I want to get commensurate value for that player. So, I might want to do another deal. So that's why I'm saying, if you had the Cousins side, I'd look to do a deal I liked better. And if I had the other side, I just wouldn't want to give up my 23 first for that. I think I can do better than this for my 23 first.
I'm going to distill this down. Would you trade McCaffrey and Renfro for 8, 9, and 10 in 2022?
McCaffrey side.
Absolutely.
I would take McCaffrey by himself.
Fournette. Would you trade Fournette to get Tyler Algier, 23 first, third? No, not
if you're in a rebuild and it's this or nothing, I don't know what. I hate it. Like if you're in a rebuild and it's that or nothing, I guess I'd rather have that. But I would desperately try to do better than this.
Somebody's going to go 5-0 to start the year that they didn't think was going to go 5-0, and they're going to send you a first round pick for Leonard Fournette.
Maybe.
I agree. PPR one could be Aaron Jones and a 23 first or McCaffrey. Would you trade okay, that was the one.
Already done.
Elijah Moore for Judy and a third.
No, I'll take Elijah
Moore.
I'm a bad person, says 1QB. It says, should I make a move for a wide receiver? Let me see.
Man.
It's kind of
roster.
You have good wide receivers.
No, I don't see why. Why is a wide receiver necessary? You have no. You have 3 dynasty wide receiver ones. I don't see a wide receiver. No. Not necessary.
I think if you really wanted to, you could probably take like Saquon and Higgins or more and like get a better wide receiver, like an upper echelon.
I mean, this is a great team.
Right. That's what I mean. Like the only upgrade that you need to do here.
Don't over tinker.
That's a great team. Great job.
Don't over tinker. Already did the first part and the second part. No, go back. The second part. No. Don't trade Tyreek Hill for that.
No.
Next one.
Tyreek.
Jake, 12 teams. Reflex Orphan have Kamara, Zeke, who nobody wants, and Aaron Jones. Players to target. Yeah,
I might target a different Orphan. But if you're stuck with this one, I would just get rid of him.
I'm going into the season with these running backs and selling in season.
Oh no. Well, with Zeke, you can't do that because once people see Zeke, the value is going to be even lower because Zeke is absolutely washed. Zeke is washed, cooked, done. Whereas Kamara and Aaron Jones, I'm more okay with that because I didn't see any sign that those two guys were washed. Aaron Jones, maybe a little, but I don't think it was Aaron Jones being bad as much as AJ Dillon being good. And Kamara was not washed at all. But Zeke is washed. I would just take what you can for Zeke, even if it seems awful. The other two, I'm fine doing your guys' strategy of holding on.
Aaron Williams, Jerome Ford, or Darrell Williams?
Let me see where I ranked Darrell Williams. It's not Jerome Ford. It's one or the other.
He's so buried.
I have in Dynasty actually I have Kyron Williams the highest. And I'm not a believer. I think Addison and I disagree on this maybe, but I hate Darrell Henderson. I think Darrell Henderson is terrible.
Darrell Williams. This is your favorite.
No. I think Darrell Henderson is terrible.
Okay. I got you.
So I actually have some interest in Kyron Williams, who I think is, yes, he's very slow, but I do think that he was actually productive in college, and he, on the balance of his profile was better than a 5th round pick. And he's someone that I have some interest in. Whereas Darrell Williams, we know what he is. Unless James Conner has to get hurt for Darrell Williams to have value. Darrell Williams is not going to be. Darrell Williams was not usable when Clyde Edwards-Helaire played, even though I think he should have been the starter. He wasn't, and it's not going to be different here. If James Conner is healthy, Darrell Williams is not going to be the starter. He's the backup. And the same, I guess, is true with Kyron Williams, but he's much younger and is a rookie and has room to grow. Whereas Darrell Williams is a known entity. Jerome Ford is not in consideration.
12-team Superflex, Russell Wilson or Devonta Smith and Calvin Ridley. Russell Wilson.
Stop.
Yeah.
In that trade for Tua, would you prefer to send Walker or ETN for him? Because I have been in the conversation.
ETN.
You would take either. Yeah.
Yeah. ETN for sure.
We talked about Irv Smith. Mooney or the 202?
Mooney.
I'm not this low.
If you have Robert Woods, trade him for the 202, then trade the 202.
The 202 for Mooney, yeah. But not yet. Robert Woods is done. I
Robert
think.
Woods is the person in this.
Yeah, Robert Woods is done, I think, for me.
Pat successfully traded away Callaway, 2022 210, 2022 third, and a 2023 third for a 23 first. Wow.
First.
Holy crap. He wanted to brag, so
Yeah.
well done.
Good job.
Congrats.
Yeah, it really came back with 94 viewers. Yeah, over 100.
101 now.
Darren Johnson, Kelsey, Brandon Cooks, and Brian Robinson or Dallas Goedert, 23 first and a 2023 third. Excuse me.
Yeah, he's been frustrated trying to move Kelsey for a long time.
It's so hard.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the best you're ever going to do.
Probably.
So you're not going to
Take
do
the
better.
first.
So I guess take it.
Okay, I'm going to pull up a Kelsey trade I got offered by one of our DLF's own, and I'll ask you about it in a minute. 109 or Komet plus Stevenson in a 2 tight end league where the starters are Everett and Andrews.
This is no difference between Komet and someone like Mo Alley Cox, really, for actually fantasy value. So I'll take 109.
I will.
I don't care that it's 2 tight end.
Sanders or Pollard and a 23 third. Give me
Pollard.
Sanders.
Give me Sanders.
I'll take Pollard.
Pollard is, well, Sanders
I think
hasn't been
Pollard.
either.
Yeah. Pollard, I think, is a little overrated.
Ridley's upset that I was
Yeah,
crying.
I think that was a poor choice.
Okay, so what
It
I mean is when I did a rookie profile on Toney, like watching him, like he had crossovers that looked like he was Allen Iverson.
Oh my God.
Like when he was running a route. I don't mean like his
We're going to cut
accomplishments.
that. We're going to cut that up and edit that.
Yeah, I don't mean his
By
accomplishments.
we, I mean Addison.
The guy who's like the biggest Allen Iverson fan on the planet.
Yeah.
Are you really?
That's the whole reason why I'm a Sixers fan. That's the reason why number 3 is my favorite number and the number that I use in like everything. And I still have my Sixers Iverson jersey of him in my closet. I am trying to order a Sixers Funko Pop of Allen Iverson.
So I love him too. And the
What more
reason,
do you need?
yeah, the reason why I said that is I didn't mean it in that kind of comparison. I meant if you ever thought, what would Allen Iverson look like in the NFL? Like to me, I just think he moves the same. I think the way he moves, he just kept reminding me of him. And
Iverson used to play high school football.
yeah,
Yeah.
Toney was awesome in high school too.
Sure.
Opinions on Trey Lapse, but let's ask about Trey Lance this
I was
year.
gonna say I don't know who that person is.
I think he'll be good. But I don't know. I mean, quarterbacks are crowded. I have him. It sounds ridiculous, but even in redraft, I only ranked him as quarterback 14.
Yeah, it's
I
gonna be
love
the
him.
rushing that keeps him up there. It's gonna be like Jalen Hurts, kind of.
Except for Kyle Shanahan's your coach. And that could be special.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the upside, but I think some people just only see the upside.
Robert has
Wilson.
105. Yeah, can't decide between Wilson or Olave. We all think it's Wilson. Rocking my 6 week. Hey, I love this, man. Great father-son time here from a lot of these while watching and talking about Dynasty football. I love it. Price for Zeke. Yeah, we talked a little bit about that. Guys asking for a 23 first. This guy's trying to acquire. Don't acquire Zeke. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, definitely don't acquire Zeke. We don't want Zeke.
Holy crap, no.
Edward wants to know if we have any worries about Waddle going to tear down to a Judy or Pittman. No, don't.
No.
I have no
none.
serious concerns about Waddle, so I'd say no.
What has happened that makes you think he's going to be bad?
Nothing.
Setting the rookie record for receptions.
Michael Thomas, 23 second for Clyde Edwards-Helaire, 23 third. Could use running back, but not really considering though.
Thomas.
I'll take Thomas in the
I
second.
don't want Thomas at all.
Yeah, I just want the second, I guess.
Yeah,
The second was
that's kind of what it is. Yeah.
Consider it.
Mm-hmm. Nick wants to know if you should be worried. Had Allen, Watson, Stafford in a 10 teams election, traded Stafford away, and just have Tannehill as my Watson insurance policy. Should I be worried?
I wouldn't be overly worried, but I am worried that Watson's not going to play any games this year.
Yeah.
I think we'll know pretty soon, right?
I do think we're going to know relatively soon. I think we'll know. My guess is some point in June.
Yeah.
So yeah, you'll have some time to plan it out. I don't think this is going to affect like the redraft game. I think by the time people are paying attention to redraft, we'll know exactly what the Deshaun Watson suspension is. I am now thinking it's going to be longer rather than shorter, given what's been going on lately. I think the floor is like 8 games. I think is the minimum. And I think the maximum is more than a year. But I would bet on a year if I had to give one guess.
ETN and 106 or 101?
101 for me. I'll take
101.
101.
I'll take Brees Hall.
Cal Carp and Addison. There's Adam. We were talking about him earlier.
Yes, we were.
Which tier 7 running back? I don't know. Whose tiers are these?
Yeah, I don't know what tiers these
waiting
are.
for Stevenson, Edmonds, Henderson, Patterson. Looking for emergency bye week running back. Okay, so
Stevenson is
I was going to say Edmonds, but are you not saying Edmonds because of Gaskin?
I'll take Stevenson.
Sorry, I'm so distracted right now.
Yeah, me too. I'll take Stevenson for sure. I think he's the most talented of all these guys.
I think he also has a path too. I think Damian Harris is gone, so I think Stevenson has somewhat of a path.
Yeah, he has a path. And then Edmonds, like, I just feel like after they signed Michelle, like I think we're actually going to the 49ers 3-way committee, like the old 49ers committee, the one where they actually used. I think this was 20. There was the. I think it was the 2020
19,
season.
Right?
No, I think it was 2020 where they actually used Breida, Mostert,
Coleman, Breida, and Mostert.
Yeah, where they actually used
Jeff
all
Wilson
3.
Got a game.
Yeah, so
like
I actually think that this is a case where they don't trust any of their guys, and Edmonds, Mostert, and Michelle are all going to get a chance to contribute. So that means I just don't want any of them. Stevenson, I feel like is actually talented, but I hate his situation as well.
Diggs or Tyreek?
Diggs. Yeah.
DJ Moore and Sony Michelle or 110 and 204. 2024 late second and a late third. DJ Moore easily.
DJ
More.
Yeah, here we go.
No, fake. This is fake news.
Grab.
No. That is a big lie.
List.
I don't agree with that one. That one, that one's not true. I'm registering my opposition.
Here we go. Trey Lance and a 23 second or DJ Moore, Michael Thomas, and Jared Goff.
Lance.
The
value's on Trey Lance.
Has to be.
Yeah. Thomas and Goff are all.
Yeah, it's Lance.
Okay, I think I just saw what you guys were distracted by.
Yeah.
Right at the clock. Okay. Miles Sanders plus Ridley for AJ Dillon.
Dylan.
Dillon.
I'll stick with Dylan there.
Yeah, I'll go Dylan.
Full rebuild, 12-team PPR Dynasty of the 104, 5, 6, and 9. I like it. And then a bunch of seconds plus 2/3. Go all in for this draft or try to trade for future picks. If you can trade for
future picks, trade for future picks. But
I was gonna say you can turn 4, 5, and 6 each individually into a 23 first. Oh
yeah, that would be a good idea.
Then,
I like that.
And then even try to do it with 9. Try to do all of that.
Yeah.
And then trade all 4 of your seconds for 1 as well.
Love it. Okay, should I trade a 23 second for Jerry Jeudy?
Yes.
Yeah, you should do that, Ryan. Let's see. 10-team, 2 QB, start 12. Start 12. Wow, that's a deep league.
This is like another version of the 6 or 7 seconds for the
Yeah,
first.
I think it is like the same one.
But now that it's only the 210, I feel like I want the 1 first. It's only 6, it's only 5 now. So I'll take the 1 first.
I'll take the first and roll the dice that's not a late first.
Yeah.
Lil Colonel wants to know about our opinions having a 3 wide receiver core of Deontay Johnson, and Amari Cooper. Also DJ Moore and Michael Thomas.
If Deshaun Watson's out for the entire year, I'm probably never playing Amari.
Amari Cooper, but not a player I want at all. To me here, like for redraft purposes, your 3 are, Devontae, Deontay, and DJ Moore actually are, and then you have Amari and Cooper as depth. I mean, this is fine. This is fine.
Yeah, it's a solid core. I think
this is solid. Yeah, it's a little old. I mean, Devontae, Thomas are both old, and Amari's not young either. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, Devontae, Amari, and Michael Thomas are all sells for me, especially Amari. I'd like to sell Amari before the suspension news came down.
That'd be nice.
Dotson or Pickens at the 201?
Dotson.
Ooh, Pickens.
No, Cal, stop.
Like Pickens was going before Dotson before, wasn't he?
Not for me.
Why did we change?
I didn't.
Hang on. I got to verify that I'm correct in saying that.
Well, I mean, you can't verify who I had first.
No,
I had Dotson first before.
I'm fact checking myself, not you.
Yeah. Well, I had Dotson first all along.
I had Pickens over Dotson pre-draft, but they were not separated by much of anything at all. They were in the same tier, and it was mainly because I saw the ceiling in Pickens. But then the NFL draft told me that the NFL views Jahan Dotson as a first-round pick and George Pickens as a second-round pick as the wide receiver 3 on the team with a rookie quarterback. Not to mention that the team that Jahan Dotson went to in the first round also has a wide receiver that they may or may not really want to be on their team moving forward. And also that wide receiver may not want to be on that team either moving forward. So there's a realistic probability that Jahan Dotson is the wide receiver 1 for his team before Pickens even becomes the 2.
He made a good argument.
So I don't care as much about the NFL. The NFL didn't tell you he's a first round pick. The Washington comrades or whatever they are
I'm a firm believer that if he was not picked by Washington, that he was getting picked by Green Bay or Kansas.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean,
but that's
or Buffalo.
I have some concerns with these reports about Pickens' work ethic.
Dude, anybody that stands at his TV like this, like, is not. Did you see that picture?
No.
Oh my gosh, Harp! I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna.
Who better than Mike Tomlin to take care of that, though? We know how good he is.
Oh, because that went so well with Antonio Brown.
It
did for a while, and then
it wasn't until Brown.
Lately, it hasn't been going as well because Chase Claypool. I don't know about him and his behavior. And then Juju, suddenly, like Juju was producing great, and then all of a sudden, not so great.
That was
I don't know.
Okay, to everybody in the chat who wants to watch this, I extend it from every single.
Oh yes, that's how that works. All right, next.
23 second or D-Hop.
Oh man, this is where we are. I'll take the second.
The second. That sucks.
Sucks, but that's where we are.
Little Colonel has 4.
That's a good play. That's a good
Holy
thing.
crap.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yep.
Holy crap.
Zach.
What was a lot of text?
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Let's see if I can just.
All right. Yeah. Okay. So traded 105 and 107 for 109, 110 McLaurin and Palmer. That's interesting.
Oh. The 1 QB.
Yeah. I mean.
Then he traded Terry and Knox for Andrews in 2 seconds.
All right, that one's better. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. So given the second trade, the first one is pretty good. Yeah. The first trade is okay. It's fine. The second one is excellent.
Yeah. Plus, he got Olave at 109.
Yeah. So that's all right. Given how it worked out, it's fine. But the first trade is nothing special. I'd much rather have the guy at 105 than any of those other pieces.
I'll give Cal a baseball reference here. I feel like this guy just like hit a nice ball like over the third easy double, and then like the left fielder tripped on the way of the ball, and he somehow found his way home for like an inside the park home run. Like
that's kind of how I feel about it.
I feel like that's
you
kind of what
described most of what happens. Yeah,
that's true. Cal would know.
Adam is excited about the 5'10" wide receiver in Washington for some reason. I don't know why. Zach says set up second. Yeah. So Zach knew he was going with the second one. That's good. It's great way to go. Yeah, just through your league. That's great. Love it. This is an underrated thing that I think people need to be able to get into this position with their league and make moves like this happen. I like it, Zach. Good job. Drake London and Garrett Wilson.
I mean, I like them.
I like them.
Yeah. London wide receiver 1.
Yeah, we're going to wrap this up. CMC plus Bateman or Pitts and a 23 first.
Pitts and a 23 first.
All right. Before we go, my trade. This was offered to me by Schwab. Jeremy Schwab. No, what's his name?
Yep.
I think that's right.
All right. I give away Kelsey, Cortland Sutton, and J.K. Dobbins.
Okay.
I get Justin Jefferson.
All right. I'm in. Done.
Brian Edwards, Myles Gaskin, Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, you get Myles Gaskin too? Dude,
Tannehill, is that Superflex?
It is a Superflex, yeah.
Oh, well, then the Jefferson side for me.
Yeah, I mean, you get Myles Gaskin.
Yeah, Gaskin is so good.
I must just... it is tight end premium.
How premium?
Hang on, let me go see.
I'll still take Jefferson anyway.
Really? I think...
Yeah.
I must like Dobbins more than you guys.
I don't know. You do. Well, you definitely like it more than me.
Do you like Dobbins, Addison?
I'm coming around to it because I'm seeing what the Ravens are doing, and I think they want to get back to running the ball. I don't see the ceiling. I think that he could just be like Antonio Gibson. I don't know if that's going to make people happy or not.
Yeah, I have Dobbins in. Yeah, and redraft to have him at 18, so I'm like kind of,
This look. We're not even going to go through why it's so hard to figure out in MFL what anything is.
Oh,
rules,
don't get me
leagues.
Don't get me started. Sleeper for me.
1.75 tight end premium.
Okay.
Does it change how you view Kelsey there?
No.
No,
All right. You still want
I do. Yes.
Jefferson, I guess is yeah. All right.
I do want.
I want Justin Jefferson.
All right.
Wait.
Oh no, they came back.
I thought I blocked them the first. Oh wow.
Oh no, spamming. All right. We're going to get out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in.
That's funny.
You was awesome. You guys are great. I appreciate everybody. We are back next week. Addison, what do you have coming out that you want to tease right now?
Another Dynasty discounts player or video. I love doing those because I think they're really fun. And they actually are super helpful for me as well. I've got a startup draft that I recently did as a review for that. Not sure how I feel about it, but we'll find out. Yeah, we got some good content. Cal, I think we might have some stuff coming out.
Let's go. I'm excited. I'm ready. Tyler, check out Tyler's channel, his Patreon.
Yes, my channel, the Patreon, my articles, and we already have the next 3 weeks of guests for Ask DLF booked. So, but I will leave it as a surprise. Oh fuck! Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Oops.
We totally forgot this.
We did.
Oops.
Did we give it to Fat Dolphin for reminding us?
I don't know. Should we? Whoops.
Man.
Oh man. How do that was such a good moment too. It's not the first time I've said that word on the show though.
Uh-oh.
Just real quick to give some answers here. Elijah, we have a video from Justin on Michael Pittman. It's basically like mid to late first-ish, but I'd recommend go watching that video. Logan Thomas, kind
Yeah, I
of
agree.
close, but yeah.
Wait, so how do we do this now? We've totally forgot. Completely slipped our minds.
Can we give it away next week?
You want to do that?
That's probably the whole reason why we got 100 viewers.
I know.
That's
No one commented, but no one asked about it.
He makes a good point.
That is a great point. I say yes.
I'm fine just giving it to him because we wouldn't have remembered.
I say yes.
This is like whenever that guy, when we had the giveaway on the draft on where Malik Willis would go, and the guy was like, he's not getting picked in the first round.
Yeah. You know what? Let's go. I think that was fair. I
Boom,
think that was
Fat Dolphin, you're in.
done. All right. How do we just
hopefully you're on Twitter.
Hopefully you're on Twitter. Yeah. What's your Twitter? Put it in the chat.
Or just message one of us.
Yeah, whichever one of us. Yeah. But just you can put your Twitter in the chat and I will tell Scott that you got an invite.
Oh, we really dropped the ball on that. Oh my God.
I know.
Honestly, I think that was probably the best way that it could have been done.
Me too.
Honestly, I'm kind of with you guys.
Let's do it.
Is this your first time in? I'm curious on.
I'm assuming it is. Made his year. Her.
Yeah. Put your Twitter though. Otherwise, we'll have to find you.
Yeah. Or do you want to reach out to us?
Okay.
At least it's live. At least Addison doesn't have to edit out my
106 and 107. Is that too much for DK Metcalf? No.
I'll take Metcalf.
Absolutely, DK. Lamb and Swift or Gallup, 2 first and 2 seconds in 23.
Lamb.
I'll take Lamb and Swift.
Lamb and Swift.
All right.
Maybe we could nudge Scott.
I'll work on it.
I would love that because
just get a little like
Tanya.
I'll work
been
on
around
it.
here for a long time.
Dotson.
Pickens.
Stop. Watch
Stop.
the video.